Welcome back, everyone. Welcome back to another week, another season here of the Crank Gathers. The Crank Gathers Season 4 Playoffs Day Number 1. I'm of course IVAP. With me, I'm joined by these amazing players and by the people in chat as well. Welcome one and all to something special. Welcome to a StarCraft Evolution tournament, not StarCraft 2, but welcome back to some SC Evo content. StarCraft Evolution is a mod that does pit together Brood War versus StarCraft 2 in a 1v1 format. But again, we have been going over the qualifiers and the group stage over the past month of StarCraft, and now we're here with the playoffs. The playoffs are now upon us for the Crank Gathers tournament. Again, this is a tournament that is, of course, organized organized by Crank J1 Choi, our boy, Papi Este Crank, organized by Crank, but also sponsored by Chijik. It is sponsored by Chijik as well. Bearing in mind that when in regards to Chijik, because they do sponsor the event, and there we go, you can see their logo top right, because they sponsor the event, this can only be live casted on the Chijik platform. Chijik is, think of Twitch but Korean version, like a Korean version of Twitch. It's its own website, everything's in Korean. Doesn't really have any kind of like global outreach or global or international kind of setup, but it's all in Korean, and because that, it's actually, we have casted, we're actually live on Chijik at the moment, but it's quite difficult for foreigners or from international viewers to actually find their way to the platform to watch, so we found that it's not really quite worth it for us to cover it live on Chijik, but here we are with replays on Chijik and also on Twitch and on YouTube as well on multiple platforms. For those who are curious, these matches were played 12 hours ago, around 12 hours ago, so again, these are quite fresh overall, quite fresh, and we're going to be the first to cover it in English, as this was previously casted in Korean by Crank, live at the time. And I believe Crank was casting with Maru and Crank. They were together, Papi, they were together. There you go. We're here with the playoffs. We're here with the first round of the playoffs as well, and this is going to be one best of, I believe, 7? It's going to be one best of series here, but it's going to be WTL format. How does that work? Well, it's going to be an all-kill format, but best of twos. So the way this works here is just like in WTL, just like in World Team League. We have our starting players for our starting teams. We have CRHB versus Stony Bulls. CRHB is a team consisting of Solar, herO, Classic, and Shin. It's a heavy team. Like, I would say the best team in the league. CRHB, they're coming out swinging. We have Stony Bulls featuring YoungYakov, GG Machine, Milky Cow, Zardiant. They have done very well for themselves, excelling over other teams like Shopify Rebellion, and like, what's another notable team that did not quite make it through? I almost said Team Liquid, but Team Liquid did make it through into the playoffs. But Stony Bulls, they're a little bit more of an underdog team. They've done very well making it this far in the league. Can they take down CRHB though? That's the question, because CRHB, they're a hefty team, you know, they're favored to maybe even win the entire league. We'll see if Stony Bulls can punch up and bring them down. So getting into the format itself, again, it's going to be an overall best of 7 series constructed by best of 2s. The way this works here is that Solar versus Solar, he's going to be going up against Milky Cow in the best of 2. If Solo wins 2-0, or if Milky Cow wins 2-0, if either one wins 2-0, they knock out the opposing player and they get 1 point for their team. If this is a tied 1-1 score in this best of 2, they knock each other out and both teams get 1 point. So that's kind of the format here. Again, just like in World Team League, this would have been like 2 years ago at this point. I can't believe it's been that long since we've had WTL. Like, that's crazy. That's crazy. So here we go. We have our first series. Again, we have that initial best of. We have that initial best of 5. Sorry, that best of 2. The initial best of 2. But let's go. Let's jump on in. Game 1 is going to be on Fear and Faith. Likewise, I should also mention as well that for this event, for the beginning of this series, Solar, he will begin as the StarCraft 2 player, and then it's going to alternate from there when it comes to each series specifically. Here we go. And spawning in the top left-hand corner of Fear and Faith, we have the blue Terran player representing Stony Bulls. It is Milky Cow. And spawning in the bottom right-hand corner, we have the SC2 Zerg player. We have the StarCraft 2 Zerg, the Korean Zerg representing CRHB. It is Solar. He puts the R in CRHB. Let's go, let's go. We are here, we are back. And of course, welcome to Fear and Faith. Fear and Faith is a 4-player spawn map. You can spawn in any spawn location in any corner of the map. Top right, bottom left, or top left. And we have found ourselves with cross spawns. Now, based on these spawn locations, it typically leads into longer games because this is the longest rush distance map in the map pool when you spawn in diagonal spawn locations. Because we have so much distance between ourselves, it does typically lead into longer games where we can embrace a 3 and 4 base economy and get into the mid to late game. So typically I would say this will favor the Zerg player. The Zerg player typically struggles against Terran on smaller maps because the Terran player can be more aggressive and more active and be in your face and try to break you early on. But because now we have a larger map, now the Zerg player has more freedom to mass expand, to get a 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th base, take over the map with Kree spread, and start to contain the Terran. That's kind of typically the dynamic here, so I do lean towards Solar initially, but we'll see if YoungYakov has something special up his sleeve. First things first, it does go CC first. CC first out of YoungYakov, going for a later Rax. Very greedy build here from our Terran player, but greed is common on an RNG map like this. Meanwhile, Solar does go for the drone scout. Okay, drone scouting quite rare actually, but does drone scout across the map and does find YoungYakov immediately. The first overload was sent at bottom left, so wasn't quite able to confirm, but the drone does. The drone does confirm. And we'll get eyes on YoungYakov. We'll zone away the SCV. And does also confirm the CC first as well. So Solar knows. He's aware of the greed, he's aware of the build. Back at home, Solar can start to build up. Meanwhile, when it comes to, oh, very fast 3rd CC is what, Jesus, the greed is insane. Solar, he scouts. Yes, Solar does scout, he does confirm 3rd CC before factory. This is a level of greed that I'm not used to seeing in this matchup. So hyper greed here by YoungYakov, doubling down, going for a very fast 3rd CC before factory. The factory also confirms, wait, did Solar see this factory as well? He did not. But based on the amount of greed that we're seeing here, I mean, it could still be 3 CC3, sorry, it could still be 3 CC3 racks, but as we're seeing here, there's a higher chance it's going to be mech, like racks into factory, into tank production, into a mech setup instead. That's kind of what I'm leaning towards here from YoungYakov. It would make more sense to be hyper greedy and to get into mech, but no, that is going to be another set of racks is hidden behind the main base. This I like. He's hiding his tech here. I feel like, as I was alluding to, mech is the obvious choice here for YoungYakov, but he's hiding his racks. He's hiding his bio follow-up here. It's going to be a bit of a surprise factor, ideally hitting with stim. Okay, we're locking in. So interesting moves so far. Meanwhile, Solar, he's aware of at least the greed, so he's getting his own 3rd base. He's droning up as much as he can. He should be taking up quite quickly as well. The Lings, they do poke in, and they will not see too much. They do scout the Academy, but the Academy doesn't scream bio. The Academy is for stim, that is true, but you also need the Academy to make comsat stations. So mech players and mech armies and mech builds still do incorporate Academies just for the comsat station as well. So not the biggest tell. We do have an overload here on the south side. Yet to dive in. Stim is being researched. It's going to be a roach response here from Solar. And he's playing roaches, and Solar, he does see the research. Okay. So he does see the Academy researching. With this, let's go. With this, he should now be aware that, okay, mech is probably most likely not going to be a thing. We do see Spider-Man being researched, of course, so this could be like a hybrid style of like quote-unquote biomech. We can transition to mech after the biostim timing. Not uncommon to see those transitions. But seeing the research, now Solar knows. And he responds with a Bailey Nest. He cancels. Yeah, you can see he cancels the Roach War and throws in the Bailey Nest as well. This shows us that, again, Solar believed it was mech. He believed it was mech, realized it is not mech, then he does cancel, going into Ling Bane. It's going into Ling Bane. Meanwhile, here comes the initial stim timing. Stim is done in 10 seconds. Marines, they move out. We do have a Spider Mine alongside this. And we'll see if there's going to be enough here. Link speed is very late, by the way. I didn't quite pay attention to that at least, but link speed is very, very delayed. Lair is much, much faster. So it's going to be an awkward defense, but YoungYakov doesn't really have that much to work with. There's not really that much. Pokes in. Looking to reinforce. Oh, dust him. He wants the queens, and he gets them. Yeah, queens are up for creep. He gets one, he gets up to 2. There we go. 2 queens going to be going down. Nice catch here from YoungYakov. They're both off for creep. Miscontrol out of Solar. As YoungYakov tries to poke in. Oh, Jesus, the drag. That drag was insane. We got a nice catch. Punishing the vulture. Does punish. Solo pulls away. And so far Solo's holding. He's holding on. Behind this, we do have extra factories being turned down. It's still a bio setup with vulture support. So again, that kind of more hybrid style. Starport is on the way. And YoungYakov is maintaining his position, but now there's link speed. Right now, link speed is done. Bathing is complete. Bathing speed has not begun. That's a little bit of a concern here. Going back into roaches. Okay, back into the Warren, back into roach speed. Links are trying to move in. Ooh, massive spider mines. Yeah, they punish the run by completely. To punish. YoungYakov rotating over. Oh. Does pull back, does rotate. So far catching up some banelings. Remember, baneling speed is late. It is. It's just straight up late. Ooh. Despite that, banelings, they still do connect. And YoungYakov a little bit distracted, a little bit inattentive. Setting up for a run by. With such late bailing speed, though, I don't see this bailing doing much damage. There is a Spider-Man in position. Yeah, the mine. So YoungYakov defends, but he will be forced back. He's going to be forced further back. We do see decent chunk of roaches behind this. Solar, he's joining up a little bit further here, getting up to 83 workers, getting up to max saturation, peak saturation even. So it's building up. Now we can focus and fixate purely on Link Main Roach Ravager. Ooh, massive spider bite. Oh my god, so much damage to the roaches. The bites. No, he's being baited. Oh my god. Insane connections. YoungYakov just punishing the roaches so hard. He shuts them all down. He's rallying across the map, and Solar's in trouble. Yeah, Solar, he's in trouble. Again, he took all the mines to the face. He ran through the minefield map. The setup. And now there's almost nothing here, right? There's no more banelings. We have a couple of Ravagers being morphed in, minimal roaches. Soul's in trouble. But YoungYakov, there's too much creep. Oh no! Oh, no splits. Yeah, late reaction, massive connections. It was only 2 banelings, they connect, and with that, YoungYakov, he's denied. He's completely denied here. That was a lack of attention there from YoungYakov. It was not attentive enough. Took 2 banelings to the face, and with that, Solar holds. Solar, he holds, he shuts down the push, shuts down the army, moves out across the map. YoungYakov, he was so close, he was doing so well. And they took the banelings to the face, Pappy. Yeah, no. Clumped up. Nice tank positioning. Fungal's going to be coming in. Grazing the army. Yeah, Fungal does graze. Tank should go down. And with that, so we're just never going to control. Pushing through the tanks. Another tank does fall. We're down to 1. 1 tank left. Solo playing it safe, waiting for reinforcements. Behind this, we do have the Ultra Cavern on the way, so switching from Link Main Roach Ravager into Ultras. But he doesn't really need to. I mean, he's working towards it. At the same time, YoungYakov back at home is trying to work towards the science vessels, He does need more time. The issue here, though, is that Solo has momentum. He has momentum. YoungYakov, he's lost map control. He's turtling up back at home, throwing down depots, Sim City, siege lines as well. This northern base is very exposed. As all the tanks are centralized here in the center. Jesus. Going for the doom drop. Still moving in. Oh. And the Pungles don't quite connect here, but still picking up a couple of key units here and there. Solo getting ready for his own Dune Drop. Still on the way. It's still coming. And here come the Ultras. The Ultra production has begun. Kind of sweating is on the way as well. Solo's still building up. Oh, nice irradiate, but we do peel off the Infestor. Actually does peel off. Does peel off. Solo trying to collapse in. Oof. Again, kind of push into the siege line of 5-6 tanks. But here comes that Dune Drop. Going for the production. Yeah, it does unload. Massive stim here back into the main. That does create an opening. Actually, there's only 2 tanks here in the middle now. Oh. But not enough on the ground. Yeah, not enough on the ground. 12, 13 SCV is going to be falling. In the end, YoungYakov, he will clean this up. He'll clean this up. Solo, he rotates over. He will find an attempted 5th expansion. We mentioned this previously, but YoungYakov, he's going to have a very hard time getting a 5th. The 5th base on this map is so isolated, it's so exposed, that YoungYakov should not expand. He's just stuck. He's just trapped. This is one of the reasons why I was surprised that this map made it through the TLMC voting. That's crazy. But the 5th base is very difficult to maintain as a Terran or as a Protoss. Yeah, the army comes in. Massive fungal connects. Oof. Yeah, with the traitor brutal YoungYakov, he will barely hold on, but his bio army here is barely hanging on itself. Deep in the red. Solo pulls away. More Ultras, more army. Remember Solo, he's triple expanding in these 2 northern bases and expanding here on the south side as well. Plenty of expansions. The creep is a little bit lacking, for sure, for sure. The creep is definitely, has been left by the wayside. And YoungYakov does try to break out. It does attempt to. Unfortunately, a little bit late to harass that base. Or a little bit early, maybe a better way of putting it. Yes, both players are maxing. YoungYakov double expanding. This I do like. Ideally, the way this works would be one base is denied and the other gets up. But they're both going to be denied. Okay, Solo moves in. Should deny both expansions. That's a kill. Ooh, no lift. Yeah, a bit of a miss at that no lift. And YoungYakov, he does move out. He does expose himself. And the army is revealed. And Solo's coming. Oh no, the science vessels. Oh. You pull away. Yeah, they do pull away. Still gonna be collapsing in. Oh, Jesus. Yeah, those collapse here. The tanks are exposed. Massive radiate on the Ultras, which is nice and all, but the tanks will still go down. Yeah, they still do fall. And likewise, so with the mineral line, that's all that matters. At the same time, we do see a big counterattack, and YoungYakov, he will take down the mineral line and a base himself, but it's not quite the same. It's not quite the same here. As it's gonna be 9 drone kills. CC lifts. Oh no, the hugs, no! Okay, the Ultra still trades. Now YoungYakov, he does have a bank to work with, so he can still, you know, keep this up for a little bit longer for sure. But only for so long, just because, as you mentioned, this northern base here should not stay up and running. Land another one of those, or another irradiate. Oof. Pushing into the Marines, vessels that get caught out. So doing 1, 2, 3 vessels. Ay, ay, ay. And again, things they trade well. Catching a tanks, pushing into another base. Again, denying mining. Even in regular SC2, I don't think I've seen a Terran player successfully go to 5th base on Fear and Faith. It's just a very difficult thing to achieve. And you can make an argument that Solo should be taking up a little bit further. I think I would agree. It'd be nice to see like a second Spire and a greater Spire and further upgrades, just in case. But for the most part, like, it's fine. Like, Solo, he's far enough ahead where he doesn't need to take up into Broodlords. That would change if we ever get a 5th base. If Milka ever does expand and get a 5th base, that's when we will need to switch things up. But until that happens, it's fine. Keep making ultras, keep trading. Just keep the 9 bases. Speaking of, letting run by here, catching a mineral line. More SCV is going to be going down. Oh. So we are getting a little bit messy here. As ultras they get out of the map, they're being active. This is allowing for a setup to occur here on the south side. As the army's rotating over. Oof. The vessel goes down. More tanks getting caught out. Oof. Now losing 1, 2 tanks. And again, Milky, he's trying to get that southern base up and running. At the same time, takes out another hatchery. Gets on the base. Now, I've spoken about how it's fine for like this mass ultra style to commit into and to keep trading. Sola is running out of a bank. Something that is not hurting him is that he's also not been saving these bases. Shout out to Milky, of course, but he has been knocking down, been very, very active, of course, at taking down hatchery after hatchery, and this is slowly adding up. Like, we need bases. Like, Sola has 91 drones, but he's not mining efficiently. We don't have efficient mining going on. So he needs to saturate these fringe bases. He needs to maintain the bases, more importantly. And I think what's most impressive here is that Milky, he's doing this without any dropships. Like, this is not drop play. It's not. He's just running across the map. And this is also a little bit on Solar because the lack of crease spread is now hurting him immensely here, as he's unable to scout and be in position and be ready here for the run-bys. As we get a Marine run-by on the top side, Vulture counterattacking on the south side as well. More drones going down. Solar, he's running out of money. He's running out of money. We spoke about Milky not getting a 5th base, and it's true, he doesn't. He doesn't have a 5th, but at the same time, Solar, he himself needs more bases. Yeah, Ling Run-by is going to be shut down. Barely gets the bunker, but very inefficient trade here for Solar. Very inefficient. And now we see the Greater Spire. As Solar's recognizing that he's in trouble. That things are not going well. That he's just been out of position one too many times, losing base after base. Even here, for example, he rotates and leaves everything here on the top side, whereas we have harassment coming in towards the south side. Now we have 2 fresh bases. Right, this base here and this other expansion, no mining whatsoever. So he dragged everything to the top side to defend against a Vulture Run-by. Or Marine counterattack. Yes, just Solar, just always out of position. At the same time, it does go for the Nidus. It does go for the Nidus. We're in a bit of desperation here, going into the main. Being dragged into a siege line. Nice. Irradiates. Irradiates, they connect. Ultra's going to be going down, and Solar, he's just throwing away the army. He's throwing everything away. Bad. Vultures get 18 drone kills across the map. And Solar, that's it. This is all he has. He has to get out. He has to get out. He cannot trade here, and he's going to lose both Ultralisks. Ay, ay, ay. 2 more Ultras go down, and Solar, he has no money. Cannot afford another Ultralisk. And again, a bottom left, he's trying to get it up and running. He's trying to saturate these bases. Trying to desperately. They switch into a couple of Broodlords. Okay. Got some broods. Moving in. Denies mining. I believe I saw some Valkyrie, right? Yeah, we have 2. Okay, so 2 Valkyries. We, of course, will soon have a Radiate. Very, very high tank count here. Doesn't help too much against the Broodlords, but we have Goliaths on the way. Goliaths are coming. And Goliaths going to be waddling in. These Broodlords, there aren't really that many of them. Ooh, Corruptors get caught out. Broodlords are on their own. The Goliaths are trickling in. So far trickling in. Tanks are on siege. Messy play here by MilkyCow. Oh no! He's getting messy. We're getting nice radiate. Ooh. We don't quite have another. More tanks going to be going down. Heavy losses here for MilkyCow. Ay. Throwing away, what is that? 6, 7 tanks? Oh my god. Yeah, so many tanks go down. 27 SCV kills. Broodlords are still not dealt with. The Goliaths, they never quite got on top of them. And that move out, it was a big mistake. It was a big mistake from MilkyCow. He felt pressure to counterattack when he really should have just waited. He just had to wait for the Goliaths. So impatience there from MilkyCow. Ay. Yeah, it was very impatient. With that, more mining is being denied. But we gotta respect the Goliaths though. Goliaths are waddling in. That is back into the main. Broodlords are getting caught out. Losing 1, down to 3. Now they radiate. Oof. And GG gets called as MilkyCow, he still has nothing left behind this, and Solar will take game number 1. GG. Whew. GG, well played. Again, MilkyCow, who was actually doing quite well towards the end. As we mentioned, he was doing a great job at harassing. That was maybe the key part there for MilkyCow. Vulture counterattacks and Marine run-bys, which is something you don't really hear too often, but just Marine run-bys. They kept getting into bases, they kept getting into mineral lines, and Solo was losing so many workers, and he did a very poor job when it came to defending, when it came to trying to keep up with these counterattacks. Like, he was just F2ing all over the place, leaving very little on opposite sides of the map to defend, and he was getting punished for it. He ran out of money, he ran out of steam. At the same time, when we saw that quote-unquote Broodlord transition, I say quote-unquote because it was a very low Broodlord count. It was like 6. It was like 6 Broodlords. When they morphed in, when they attacked, MilkyCow got scared. He got scared, he overreacted, he unsieged all of his tanks, and then he A-moved across the map. And he lost everything. He lost all of his tanks. Like, he had a hefty army. It's not like he was maxed out and he had to free up supply for Goliaths. Like, no, he was making Goliaths, but he just got too impatient. He got a little bit too scared because of the Broodlord transition and because of how little anti-air he had. So he went for a big unsiege, a big counterattack. He lost everything in the process. GG. GG, well played. Whew. With that, Solar does take game number 1 here, but a very impressive kind of final moment there for MilkyCow, at least towards the tail end of the game itself, when it came to harassing, denying mining, of course, and his 4 base economy was setting him for quite some time until the very end, where his natural was mining out, his third was mining out, until he was stuck on a 1 base economy. But GG. GG, well played. As we're getting ready here for game number 2. Un momento. Here we go, and spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of Fear and Faith. Same map, by the way, same map, but different spawn locations. We have the now Brood War Zerg player, not SC2, not this time. Representing CRHB, leading the series 1-0, it is Solar. And spawning in the bottom right-hand corner, we have the SC2 Terran player, the Cycle 2 Terran, representing Stanley Bulls, it is MilkyCow. Let's go. Let us go. We're getting into game number 2 here, and oh boy, now the roles have been reversed. We reversed those roles. Now it is going to be Solo playing Brood War Zerg, and now YoungYakov playing the SC2 Terran race. We do have close spawn locations here with each other. So a very different dynamic, very different. If you remember, I spoke about how the long spawn locations did favor Zerg because they had more room to work with. Here, close spawns typically favor the aggressing player. I should emphasize aggressing player because I do see Solo going for an early gas and an early pool. Solo does go for a late hatchery. So much more aggressive build here. This can be 2-base Muta. Because of the early gas, we can go into a fast lair. So I'm thinking 2-base Muta or 2-base Lurker. Those are the two things that come to mind. Otherwise, we could, I guess, go for a Ling Flood. True, we could. Could go for a Ling Flood. As behind this, we'd see YoungYakov once again going CC first into a 2x follow-up. Okay. You know, see the chat. ¿Cómo está? Are you feeling better today? We're slowly improving. Slowly getting better. My voice is still, or my throat is still not at 100%. I'm like maybe at like 55%, maybe 60. But it's getting better. It's improving. We're getting better. So good. As we do see a Ling Flood, so early Ling speed here. I was curious, I was theorizing that the early gas was going to be for a fast lair. That is not true. No, it's going to be early gas for Ling speed. So fast Ling speed into a double expand. The Lings are moving out across the map. Meanwhile, YoungYakov, we'll see if he gets caught out here. So far, he does lift up the racks. He will chase down the initial Overlord. Solo's hiding his Lings. Solo does hide his Zerglings, and I believe there is a hole in the wall. Yeah, things move in. They do move in. They get on top of the add-on. Oh, denying the reactor. Diving on top of the first Marine. Boys being pulled. And so far, nice reaction by YoungYakov. He does save the Marines. Does save the bio. Does pull the boys. One SCV is going to go down. Losing one. Losing two. Yeah, 1 2 SCV kills. We get 3. We do. 3 SCV kills. Ay. Yeah, 4 in total. As there's 1 Zergling in the main. Oh my god, do we get 5? Not quite, but 4 SCV kills. Very nice damage by Solar. Behind this, he is droning. Behind this, Solar is droning, he's saturating. Again, very nice damage done so far. Early Evo Chamber out of Solar into a Hydra Den. Interesting. So we're switching. Okay, I was gonna say I'm not too familiar with early Evo Chamber builds. So we're gonna be canceling the Evo Chamber, going off fast Hydra Den into Hydra Tech, and we'll see how committed this is going to be, as the lair is not yet on the way. But we're getting a lot of hatcheries. A lot of macro hatcheries being thrown down. Again, we'll see if Solo does go for an all-in or if he just builds up in towards the mid-game. Because of the short rush distance by ground, we're expecting aggression out of Solar. At the same time, YoungYakov is going for 3x. He's going for a 3x stim timing. Stim is on the way into combat shields into +1. So very strong bio timing here out of YoungYakov. This should be hitting pre-medevac. Should be hitting without support. And a Ling Hydra defense, if the Hydra count is too low, Solar will just crumble. So thankfully he's already building up those Hydras. Solar, he's aware of at least a 2-on-1 setup. He does get, oh, the drone scout into the main base. Very nicely done. He confirms the 3rd racks. He knows now about the 3xing timing. Oh my god, we pulled the boys. That's too late. Yeah, the boys are being pulled. YoungYakov, he commits across the map. Is moving in. YoungYakov, he does move in. Oh. Putting the expansion, catching at a Hydra. Hydra does go down. I might have to change the format of we'll see. They maintain themselves, getting up to 4 SCVs. Yeah, 4 SCVs do go down. Again, the longer this goes on, the better it is for Solar. Remember, YoungYakov, he's all in. The longer he's got it in the game soon. As we're building up too many Hydras. There's too many Hydras at this point. Such a heavy Hydra count. More Lings moving in as well. We're chasing down the army, and YoungYakov, he's run out of steam. It's too late. It's too late. It's taken too long. It's taken too long here as Solar. He's just chasing down the army. Gru's fine's about to finish. YoungYakov forces them away, losing 15 SCVs. Oh, the dance! Solar, he's an animal. It's a clown, Pappy. It does dance. GG gets called, and Solar, he will take the 2-0 series. He'll kick things off with a win for CRHB. GG. Whew. And GG, well played. Solar, he will claim the initial lead here in the series. Does take the 2-0. Does get 1 point on the board. GG, well played. Again, I'm not opposed to the builder choice from YoungYakov. Unfortunately, Solar was playing with a very low economy to begin with. A big part of that, of course, the drone scout. Really smart to go for the drone scouts on Fear and Faith. Was able to sit past the army, was able to sit by the Sim City and get a full scout to the main base, confirming that third rack. So big scout there from Solar, confirms what's going on, and with that, Solar takes out YoungYakov 2-0. Now, the way this format works, remember, it's a team league here. Standing Bulls versus CRHB. Solar 2-0's YoungYakov. That means Solar stays on. Solar stays on, and now it's going to be on Standing Bulls to field the next player. Who do they field? Shameless, YoungYakov, GG Machine. Honestly, I can see a ZVZ being very chaotic, and we can try to maybe snipe Solar with a ZVZ. That might be the approach to go for. I'm not too confident in Shameless when it comes to his Brood War Protoss, so I'm not really too confident in maybe setting out Shameless. I know that Zardians can be a TVT sniper, but there's no Terran on CRHB. You have to think further ahead about herO and Classic as well. In my mind, a Zerg player would make sense here, but we'll see. It's going to be on Standing Bulls. Let's go. Let us go. As up next, there it is. So I was actually thinking about GG Machine. I was thinking about GG Machine, but no, it is going to be the other Zerg player on Standing Bulls. It's going to be a best of 2 between Solar and YoungYakov. Let's go. So Yakov is going to be the next player sent out. We're jumping into that mirror, that quote-unquote mirror matchup. And it's going to be on match point. We're not on match point, but we're loading into match point. Shaking my head, Crank. Shaking my head. And Solar, he will start things off as Brood War Zerg. Remember, we alternate per series. We do alternate. It's catching up. Can we do an AV1 with 8 SC2 pro players and 1 Twitch Chat GM expert? Oh no. There are no Twitch Chat GMs, Pappy. They don't exist. Everyone knows that if you're in Twitch Chat, you don't play the game. It's just true, man. It's just true. Yeah, I know. But here we go. Spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of match point, we have the Brood War Zerg player. The Brood War Zerg player himself representing representing CRHB. It is Solar. Oh. And spawning in the top right-hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the blue Zerg player, the SC2 Zerg representing Standing Bulls. It is YoungYakov. Let's go. Let us go. As I guess Solar's letting him know his EU ult accounts, I would assume. I don't know. But we are going to be settling in. And again, hatch first out of Solar. Meanwhile, it is going to be a gas first build out of YoungYakov. So hyper aggression here. This is going to be leading to a Link Flood. This may even lead into a Bane Bust. True. May lead to a Bane Bust. Let's go. Let us go. So hyper aggression out of YoungYakov. With the initial hatch first build here from Solar, it is going to be a much more difficult defense. Not impossible, but difficult. So we'll see. We'll see if YoungYakov can shut him down. Overlords are moving out. I should also emphasize that here on match point, the rush distance by ground is very short. So very short rush distance by ground. Aggression can be favored here. And the flood is coming. Flood is coming. We're still waiting for a little bit of extra gas income here for Link Speed. There it is. Link Speed on the way. Pulls out of gas, so it's not going to be a Bane Bust. No Bane Bust, just Link Flood. Let's go. Let us go. As Yakov does move out across the map. Yeah, it does move out. Link speed is still going to be on the way. Behind the Soul, going to try and make a defense. He does throw down his initial Sunken Colony. He needs to buy time. He has to buy time. And nice round. Nice control by YoungYakov. He pulls back the weakened Zergling. Takes the better fight. Oof. Surrounds another Zergling. But with defender's advantage here, Solar should defend. Yeah, Solar, he will defend. He will shut this down. He will zone it away. And bearing in mind that YoungYakov, he's still making more Lings. He's still Link flooding. Okay, that's better. But the Link flood does continue, and the longer this game goes on, the better it is for Solar. Now, the hope here is that... I finished. The hope would be for Solar to maybe be overconfident in his defense and drone. And drone and saturate. The Link flood continues, catching in a couple of Zerglings. And YoungYakov is rushing across the map. Back at home, Solar, he's droning, he's fully walling off as well. Solar's fine. Like, he should be fine here. If he had cancelled the colony, different story, but didn't cancel. Yeah, Lings, they go for the Hydra Den. I mean, we do have a secondary wall behind this. Yeah, secondary wall, Hydra production's already begun. The Den is going to go down, but, no, not even. Oh, God. Yeah, now we're getting up to 3 colonies. Hydras have arrived, and now YoungYakov begins to drone up. So it's been a rough start. It's been a rough start. You could definitely argue that YoungYakov, he did force out a full wall. He did force out all these colonies and all these Sunkens. True, you could argue this was a bit of an overreaction here from Solar. But outside of that, Solar, he's fine. He's able to drone, saturate, tech up as well. He can start his lair soon. Speaking of it, Yakov does go straight for the lair himself. And are we going for the Spire? Are we going to 2-base Muta? Going into Muta play. Show us what you got. And it is going to be the Spire. So 2-base Muta is on the way. Thankfully for Solar, he's already messing up Hydras. Like he's already going to have some anti-air. But the Den is going to go down. Ooh, does get sniped. Denies the upgrade. Upgrade is denied. Forced to rebuild the Hydra Den. Going double Den for double upgrades. Solar should be aware of the possibility here of 2-base Muta. Should be aware. And we'll see if Solar tries to move out and try to break his opponents, or if we try to macro up from here instead. What's the plan? So you can movement speed of SC2 and SC2, StarCraft 1 and StarCraft 2 overload's different? No. But that is because the changes to the current patch in StarCraft 2 are not implemented into StarCraft Evolution. So the SE Evo Zerg and SE Evo races they're still starting with 12 workers. Like 12 workers start. There's been no changes to like the larva production or to the CC like mineral cost, or to warp gate or anything like that, or to the overload speed, or to the ghost. Like none of the changes have been implemented to StarCraft Evolution. So far we're building up Mass Hydra, and this is where I'm going to be concerned for YoungYakov. Without Ling Bane, how do we defend this? Like, with the Hydras are moving out, we need a heavy Link count here to deal with this. We have so far 7 Mutalisks. They cannot fight this head on. Mutas, they just crumble against the Hydras. They cannot engage. And I think Solar just A-moves. We'll see. Yeah, Hydras, they step in. Links go down. Mutas are exposed. And now we can just push into the mineral lines. We can push into the bases. Hydra does fall. Sorry, Muta does fall. Losing 1, losing 2, 3. Nice target firing. Catching out 3, catching out soon to be 4 Mutas. Oof. Yeah, expensive losses here for YoungYakov. And we just keep rallying. We just keep rallying forward. More boys being pulled. More drones going to be going down. And again, Hydras, they still will overwhelm. Down to 2. Down to 1. 1 meter left. Yeah, down to 1 Mutalisk. Lings, they will help clean this up. But the losses have been far, far too much here. Losing 17 drones. 17 drones, 10 Mutalisks. Solar still rallying. Gathering his army. Still needs a little bit more time though, as his Hydra count is still a little bit low. Yeah, we're going for the dive. Yeah, Lings, they move in. We do get some decent stuff stepping here out of Solar. And to be honest, the Lings are doing better than the Mutas, I thought. But the Zerglings, they're popping up. Yeah, they punish the Hydras, and with that, YoungYakov, he does survive. He does survive. Did lose a lot of workers in the process, but hey, he's got a third. He's got a third base. He's redroning, resaturating. Thankfully, Solar's drone count is relatively low to begin with as well. But overall, when it comes to the compositions, I do favor Solar. Solar, he's working towards Hydra Lurker. The one thing that the Hydras are missing is any kind of real anti-ground support or composition. That's where the Lurkers come into play. Lurkers will help deal with the Lings, Hydras against the Mutas. So Hydra Lurker is going to be ideal. Meanwhile, Mutas, they do hit the main base. Damage is being done. Damage is being done. Hydra's out of position. No Spore either. This is known here for Solar. He does like to skip his Spores in ZVZ. Even here, no Spore at the natural. So Mutas, they get 6 drone kills. 6 drones going down. And again, I'm still not entirely convinced here to skip Banelings the way that we are. I understand that gas is quite limited right now for YoungYakov. And so far, he's controlling well. Catching up more Hydras. Rotating back into the main. Getting another 1, 2, 3 Hydralisks. And again, Yakov is going to be forcing the Yolin out of Solar. We're setting up for a Ling counterattack, or even a Link surround. Oh, looks like there was a bit of a pause. We're just going to be zoned away. But the Lurkers are ready. Yeah, Lurkers are in position. Oh my god, that's a lot of splash damage being dealt to the Lings. The Lings are going down, but they do trade well against the Hydras. And barely the Hydralists, they should fall. We're down to 4 Hydras. Down to 3. Down to 2. Down to 1. Oh my god, the Mutas, they barely come out on top. Just barely. 4 Mutas left. Oh my god. Yeah, behind this, Yakov is droning, which I do like. He's droning, he's saturating. Building up his third base, taking more gases. And this is what's going to win YoungYakov the game. To be up a base, up an expansion. Solar, he's still just now getting his own third. Far behind here in the worker counts. And Yakov can start to add scale. You could argue that some of these trades have been inefficient and have been expensive for YoungYakov, and that is true, but at the same time, Solar's stuck at home. Right? He's stuck at home, stuck defending. Now working towards a Queen's Nest. Into Queens. Into a Snare, I would imagine. Oof. As soon as he goes zoned away. Sorry, zoned. Once again, looking for damage. Oof. And Snare's now being researched. And Mutas, they just give it to the fight. Yeah, they commit and they will focus out every single Hydralist. There's just not enough. Yeah, not enough. We have reinforcements not coming in. That was a better engage initially here for YoungYakov. A little bit risky. Yeah, once again does commit, and it just ensures that he's able to engage before this critical mass of Hydras. Every Hydra's going down. Ay, ay, ay. And barely YoungYakov will win this fight, and then can go straight for the drones. Go for the workers. Game 1, game 2. 2 drones going down. And remember, because YoungYakov has these gases at the third base, he can afford this. Like, he can afford to be a little bit messy when it comes to his trades. Oh, not like this though. Yakov is overextending. Yeah, Yakov losing too much. Does what, 3-4 extra mutilas that he did not have to lose. So Yakov getting too excited towards the end. Too excited. Lings they CranKy move in. First queen is on the way. Now, bearing in mind the way Ensnare works is, unlike fungal growth, Ensnare does no damage. It is a very long slow, don't get me wrong. It's a very long slow. But you have to be able to commit and to punish and to capitalize on that slow, on that Ensnare. Speaking of. And the queen is out. Soon to be 2 queens. Oh, the mutas are being forced in. Yeah, they're being bedded in, and we should land one. Oh, never mind. Yeah, some miscontrol there by Solar. Lings, they committed. They're going for the surround. Oh my god. Who surrounds who? Yeah, who surrounds who? Lings, they dive into the main base. They dive on the Hydras, and every Hydra's going to go down. Massive catch here for YoungYakov. He's crazy. He ran all the Lings past the colonies. He ran them past the colonies. Got a surround. In the end, the Sarah does land. But it doesn't matter. It does not matter. Mutas take it away. Hydra kind of gets reset. Getting clutch move by YoungYakov. And again, Yakov is here to fight back for his team. He's here to fight back. The reason why there's an opening here, there's no lurkers. Lurkers, they're only at the third base, and now we can see Solar repositioning here, but this is after the fact, after damage has been done. There's 0 lurkers in position at the natural, so there's just a massive opening. Speaking of, 2 lurkers go down, and mutas they overwhelm. They catch out another lurker. And Snare, not going to be enough. And not enough, Lappy. Oof. Hydras, they extend, they take a fight, they cannot. They cannot take this fight, not like this. Oh. They're extending. Meanwhile, big shout out to, oh my god, in the chat, thank you so much to Around Then Bam. Thank you so much for subscribing, sorry, for gifting 5 subs to the community. Thank you, Papi, thank you. Do appreciate it. 10 subs actually, 5 and then 5. Gracias, Papi, gracias. We appreciate the support, we appreciate it. Hope you enjoy the content, the casting of the StarCraft. Hope you enjoy the StarCraft evolution even. Hope you enjoy it. As Yakov is just having his way with Solar. Solar had such a hard time expanding, getting a third base up and running. Likewise, he's been trading very poorly with the Hydras, or I should say has been having a hard time supporting his Hydras as well. There's been openings here, there's been gaps. Even here, no lurkers in position. Banelings here roll in. The drones! Oh my god, massive connections. Drones, they go down, 20 drone kills, and even though Solar might have started things off with a win against Milky Cow, it's going to be YoungYakov over Solar here in the next series. Once again, another Ensnare, but there's no follow-up. Yeah, the Ensnares, they don't matter, Bappy. Not like this. And you can see desperation out of Solar. At this point, he's just F2. He's just F2ing across the map. Just sending everything. Lings, they collapse on the Hydras. Lurkers, they support very nicely. But there's so many mutalisks. Yeah, too many mutas. 22 mutas. GG gets called, and YoungYakov takes down Solar in game number 1. GG. Whew. And GG, well played. Again, YoungYakov initially going for a Link Flood, which I would say was lackluster, but then went for a 2-base, went into 2-base muta. We saw that Solar went for a 2-base Hydra all-in to punish, and honestly, did a little damage. Remember, he killed, was it 15 drones? Killed 15 workers, he reset the muta counts. It was trading really, really well, and then the game slowed down. Then we saw YoungYakov was able to get a third base and fully drone up. Meanwhile, Solo was stuck on 2 bases going into Hydra Lurker, and there was potential to turtle up into Hydra Lurker Queen, but the Queen's Nest was delayed, and on top of that, the Lurkers, they were not always quite in position. We did speak about the big move where we saw the insane surround in the main base, where there were no Lurkers on the high ground at the natural, so Lings just ran in. They just ran into the natural, they ran into the main base, engaged with the Hydras, and took a massive fight. GG. GG all played. It all just fell apart from there for Solar. Even leading up to that, Solar was having a hard time retaining his Hydras, and again, we did speak earlier how Solar, he's known for skipping spores, and you can definitely argue that some spore support there would have helped alleviate some of that pressure and maintain the Hydra count even more and build that up over time into a stronger ground army. But again, Solar, he's kind of known for getting corners in ZVZ and is known for being punished for it. But here we go. Here we go. Now the turns have been tabled. We're going to be loading into game number 2, and now it's going to be Solar's turn to embrace Brood War Zerg and YoungYakov playing SE2. Let's go. Let's go. Scourge just not good against Muta. I mean, we already opened up Hydra, so because of the Brood War Zerg tech tree, because of the tech tree, like opening up Hydra, going Hydra Lurker, and going Hydra Lurker Queen can work really, really well. I would imagine that going Spire, like Scourge, and Snare is like viable, but not really a tech path that that Solo was kind of set up for. Right, it's quite expensive going for like a Hydra Lurker setup and then switching into Spire into Scourge, especially with the low economy. I do think that that if Solo was able to maintain his economy and have a stronger defense, then maybe we could kind of like build towards something like that. But I would say that it was on Sola to successfully turtle up and defend on 3 bases, which he failed to do. But that was more on Sola than anything, I would say. But here we go. Here we go. Spawning in the bottom hand corner of match point, we do have the SC2 Zerg player, the now SC2 Zerg, representing CRHB. It is Solar. He's doing the same build, by the way. Gas first, gas first. In the top right hand corner, we have some opponents going pool first, actually. We have the Brood War Zerg for Stouty Bulls. It is YoungYakov. So we're going to run it back. We're going to run it back here. But I will say that Solar, I will say that Solar had a really nice defense last game. Like, he had a really impressive defense against the early Link Flood. We'll see if YoungYakov can do the same. Did opt to go pool first, so we'll have extra Zerglings early on. But remember, Solar has an earlier Link speed timing, and Solar's doubling down. This is not the same build. It's the same opener. But look at this. Solar, he's staying in gas. He's keeping extra workers in gas. This means that Solar can go for a Bane Nest. And there it is. It's a Bane Bust. So Solar's going one step further. Not a Link Flood, Bane Bust. Oh, jeez, we pull the boys. Meanwhile, Yakov is going pool first, and he does have a couple of boys here for some colonies. So bold move out of Yakov. Does move out, runs into Lings, forcing them back. At the same time, Solar does bypass the army with 2 Zerglings himself. Oh. Yeah, so far Solar dancing with the army. The gas has not been scouted, so YoungYakov is not aware of the earlier Baneling Nest. Speaking of, here come the Banelings. They're morphing in. And Link speed is done in a couple of seconds. If it's a Baneling, he sees. Yeah, he does see, he does know. Yakov is now aware of the Banelings. Yakov is going to be cleaned up, and he will deny 1 Baneling back at home, but across the map they do finish. They do finish across the map, and now it's time to flood. Now it's time to flood. Nice positioning here from YoungYakov. Ooh, delay. Yakov, calm down. Very cheeky moves here. Saves 2 Lings, delays the natural expansion. Very nice. Meanwhile, the colony is done. Baneling's gonna be waddling in. Oh my god, 1 connects. Yeah, 1 does connect, the other does make it through. Ooh, I spoke too soon. Gets sniped by the colony. And YoungYakov is holding. Yakov is holding on. Bearing in mind as well that Yakov, he's up in drones and he's up in bases. He's up in hatcheries, he's up in workers. He does spot those morphing in Banelings. Does notice. Solar's in trouble. Solar, he needs more damage. Ooh. 1 Baneling goes off. We got more Banelings, more feet. That's a lot of Banelings. Jesus. That's a lot of banelings, more lanes. They try to flood in. We have a full wall here at the natural. But that's still 4 banelings inside the main. These things should not move in. Yeah, they cannot move in. So he wants that mineral line. He's going in. He wants the drones. Oh, we split. Oh no. Oh my god, 1 man connects. 2 drones go down. The only 2 workers here. Nice defense here from YoungYakov, losing 3 drones against 4 banelings. That's not that bad. It's not that bad. Could have been cleaner for sure. But as it settles, Solar, he's still just now finishing up his own natural. And now we drone. Right, now we drone. Now we saturate. And who do we favor in this kind of position here? So Solar has gas income. That's a big difference. Solar, he does have 3 workers mining gas. Currently 0 gas for YoungYakov. So Solar does not have to worry about any kind of early lair, muta play, Hydra play either. Like, the tech is late. True, the tech is going to be late here for YoungYakov. And Solar can leverage that gas. So just catching with the chats. Speaking of, around the BAM again with 5 more gifted subs. Gracias, baby, gracias. Thank you so much. Funny story about finding StarCraft 1 as a kid. Let us know the story, baby. You can let us know. As the game is slowing down. It was really intense early game. Very, very intense early game. But now we can slow things down a little bit. So we do see the mineral patch has been mined out. We do have, again, the faster layer. Why do we have the faster layer? Because the faster gas. So that early gas is paying off now for Solar. Where he has faster tech. A layer is now on the way. Meanwhile, Yakov is now working towards his Hydrogen. Solar, is he tempted to go into 2-base muta like YoungYakov did? I would assume so. I'm going to be expecting 2-base muta here out of Solar. And then the roles have been reversed. And it's going to be up to YoungYakov to be able to survive, defend, and turtle up with Hydra Lurker play himself. And we'll see if he can do a better job than Solar at turtling. And maybe even going for a 2-base all-in. Remember, the all-in, the solo win for last game did do a lot of damage, but it was not enough to kill. So we have that same dynamic, but again, roles have been reversed. Do have 2-base muta out of Solar. And likewise, 2-base Hydra out of YoungYakov. So the question becomes, is YoungYakov going to try to go for a 2-base all-in with Hydras to kill Solar with a low muta count? Or is he going to try to slowly expand, get a 3rd base, get some colonies going, get some lurkers up and running, and turtle? It's on Yakov. What is it going to be? Soul's claiming a 3rd. Spire is almost done. Likewise, Yakov is getting into his own lair. And working on at least those Hydra upgrades. 3rd base also being taken. Speaking of gifts and subs, thank you so much for gifting a sub to MW as well. Crazy, that'd be crazy. Thank you so much for the support. We appreciate it. Too long, maybe later. Fair enough, fair enough. It's been an intense game, Pat. It's been intense. Speaking of intensity, that is Overlord Speed. Interesting. Overlord Speed is on the way. This might just be to save Overlords. We'll see if we go into Vengeful Sacks as well, if we commit into something a little bit more sinister. I mean, going in, again, it should just be to save the Overlords. I mean, I say that it's too late. 1, 2 Overlords going to be going down. YoungYakov be supply blocked. Working on +2. Do we have any spores? We do. So unlike Solo, we can see extra spores being thrown down. Despite that, there's still an angle of attack here on the gas. Does get 1. Yeah, 1 drone goes down. Gets 2. Just the 1 so far. At the same time, we do see YoungYakov moving out. Solo does respond. And do we have any link support? No. Oh. We need link support here for the Hydra. Sorry, for the meters. We do need that support. Hydras, they get across the map. They've got +1. Better angle here, denying all these workers. Yeah, 8 drones going to be going down. And do we even get the hatchery as well? Solar, he has to engage. Yeah, collapsing in. The base will fall. All these Hydras are going to be cleaned up. Nice positioning behind the mineral line. Yeah, it does move back here, but again, every Hydra will fall. Did kill the expansion, but was this worth it? Oof. As that is how many? That's 17 Hydras for only 3 Mutalisks. Did get the expansion, did get the mineral line. Damage was done. But now there's not much less to defend. Yeah, I'm still not convinced. You can see how careful YoungYakov is maneuvering the army. Gotta be careful. Lings, they backstab. They hit the hatchery. Hydras have to respond. At the same time, Mutas come in for the gas. 2 spores they try to punish. And what's important is that this backup base was already on the way. So Solar, he's getting a 3rd and a 4th expansion. He's already redroning, resaturating. Queen's Nest is exposed. Yeah, it's out in the open. That's on Yakov. Yeah, massive snipe here. Queen's Nest goes down. It's like a fountain of blood. Jesus, I'll see. God. And Yakov is being torn apart. He's being torn apart here, catching out some mutas, catching out the 3rd base. Massive snipe. 3rd base goes down. Oh, do we surround though? Do we catch? They failed to catch the army. Was close. And the Hydra count is looking decently healthy here. I believe Lurker Tech is done. Yep, we do have Lurker Tech. There's a world where we can morph in like 4 Lurkers and then push. We've been here before, right? YoungYakov has to make a choice. Does he try to go for an all-in or does he try to turtle? Has he rebuilt the Queen's Nest? No. No backup Queen's Nest. I feel like it's going to be an all-in then, right? If we have not rebuilt the Queen's Nest, then there's no plan here to tech up. It's just so difficult here to defend. Likewise, you can see Soul's ready for the backstab as well. As they move in, they catch out 4 more drones. Was that not the Queen's Nest? Okay. I think that was meant to be a colony. Oh, meanwhile, some lurkers, they get across the map. Okay, let's go. We get some lurker harass. Yeah, it does drag back the entire army. Lings, they race back home. Mutas are still harassing. Ooh, lurkers, they do burrow within range of the mineral line. There's one over here, racing back. These lurkers, they're killing 19 drones, by the way. Jesus. Oh, no. Yeah, Hydras, they engage. They overextend. Bunch of Hydras who go down. But that's still 22 drone kills. That is insane damage for 2 lurkers. 2, papi. Oh my god, the Lings. You can see how low the Lings are as well. The power of 2 lurkers, papi. So YoungYakov, he's still in this. I still don't really like the main army, or I should say that, I mean, again, the muta count is insanely high. 37 Mutalisks. That's insane. At this point, we can ignore spores. Yakov moves out. How many lurkers do we have? 4. 4 lurkers. You don't need that many, right? It's only Zerglings, no Banelings. So you don't need that many lurkers. But you have to make sure you're buried. And 1 lurker goes down. We have 3 left. Hydras, can they take the fight? They stutter step in. They stutter steps in. Oh my god. Oh, some of the steam vent though actually comes into play. We saw some missed shots. Yeah, we saw some missed shots as well. Better engage for YoungYakov. Lurkers a burrow. They punish the Link support, and he's done it. Yakov has done it. As long as we keep these Lurkers alive, Lings they can never engage, and without Link support, the mutas they cannot fight. They cannot fight. Yeah, Lurkers a burrow. GG gets called, and YoungYakov, he will take down Solar 2-0. GG. Whew. And GG, well played. YoungYakov, he will win the series 2-0. He's going to knock Solar out of a said match. Again, a very intense back and forth here. And unlike Solar's approach to the ZVZ, YoungYakov, he instead did go for, he went for an all-in, right? He did try to tech up into Hive, into the Queen's Nest, into Queen production. But in the end, of course, he got sniped. He was denied. So we saw a lot more urgency and a lot more pressure on YoungYakov to just push with one massive move out, with one big all-in and one big kind of like knockout punch. Shout out to the Lurker harass, by the way. 2 Lurkers, 22 drones. That is insane damage for only 2 Lurkers, Pappy. So again, Solar inattentive back at home, messy defense, was fixated and tunnel visioned a little bit too much on being aggressive, and he lost so many workers across the map to only 2 Lurkers. That did create an opening that allowed for YoungYakov to start to push across the map, and as I mentioned, it all came down to that one big breakout moment where he was able to shut down all the Lings, collapse on the mutas. I don't know if you noticed, but there were some steam vents in the center, so Hydras, that was actually helping support the Hydras against the Mutalisks, as we saw some missed shots as well. That was also coming to play, also assisting a little bit as well. And with that, YoungYakov does snowball out of control and does claim the series. GG. GG, well played. We have a back and forth. We have a back and forth here. We're tied up 1-1 so far between Stony Balls and CRHB. And now it is up to Team CRHB to field their next player. Now, I would say that looking at this ZVZ, I would not be confident in sending out Shin. Shin is the other Zerg player on CRHB. I would assume, especially when it comes to ZVZs, that Jin Machine and YoungYakov, they're going to be very, very threatening in ZVZ, so we want to avoid that. I'm expecting a Protoss player. Now, which Protoss? herO or Classic? When it comes to StarCraft Evolution, I think it's important to bear in mind that this is a different game mode. It has a different meta as well. Because of that, in regular SE2, I would say that herO is the better player. He's the best Protoss player in the world. 100%. He's the best Protoss player in the world. But there's a reason why Basilisk did not make it into the playoffs. There's a reason why they got knocked out in the group stage. Serral and Raynor, they're both on Team Basilisk. They failed to make it out of the group stage, even though Basilisk is the best team in the world and Serral's the best player in the world, period. They're just straight up the best player. Just because you're the best player in SC2 doesn't mean that translates all the way into StarCraft Evolution. So here I would say that Classic is the ace player for his team. He has a lot more experience in StarCraft Evolution, and I would argue that you probably want to save him. You probably want to save Classic until a little bit later. You don't want to like spend him early on. So leading towards sending out herO here, but we'll see. We'll see. It's up to the team. It's gonna be crazy if they send out Shin. It's gonna that'll be insane if they send out Shin against YoungYakov. But let's go. Here we go, and who's it gonna be? There it is. It is going to be herO. This makes sense. Again, based on at least our rationale here, it does make sense that you want to save Classic and you want to send out herO as the answer to the problem that is YoungYakov. Okay. Bam. One moment. So here we go, and it is going to be on Polopoid. Let's go. Let us go. We're going to be loading into our next best of 2 and spawning in the top right hand corner of this all-kill WTL format at the playoffs of Crank Gathers. We have the SC2 Protoss player. We have the red Protoss representing Team CRHB. It is herO. And spawning in the bottom left hand corner, we have the Brood War Zerg player. We have the blue Zerg. He just took down Solar 2-0 for Team Stony Balls. It is YoungYakov. Let's go. Let us go. As again, the way this format works is that it is all kills. So YoungYakov, he just took down Solar, so he stays on. He stays on for his team, for Team Stony Balls. Meanwhile, herO is going to be fielded for Team CRHB to try to bring YoungYakov down. We'll see if he can. As we are loading into Polopoid, Polopoid is a 4-player spawn map. You can spawn in top right, top left, bottom right, and bottom left as well. So 4 possible spawn locations. Here we do see that herO, he's aware of either bottom left or bottom right, and YoungYakov is aware of top left or top right instead. In StarCraft Evolution, one of the spawn locations is removed for each player, so they both know at least 2 possible spawns. And Yakov is scouting top left with his Overlord. So the Overlord does go top left. Meanwhile, welcome to Polopoid. Polopoid is an interesting map in the map pool. The third base location is really weird. This is one of like the fun things. I would say I would use the word fun for StarCraft Evolution and for Brood War. Not the most balanced, and I probably wouldn't enjoy it as a player. But the standardization of maps, right, is all over the place. There is no like standard guideline as to what to do with maps. So they're crazy. A lot of maps are insane. Not just the spawn locations. Look at this third. Like, look at it. So we have a triangular third base. One, it is completely out in the open, but it's very like thin. It's very, very thin. We do have like a massive ramp here on one side, a massive ramp on the other. And as a result, it's really difficult to defend. It's really hard to defend this base. On top of that, because we have all this high ground next to the natural, it's very easy to be aggressive and to push into the natural base. Imagine a siege line here right outside of your natural, right? Like, we've seen this before. We've seen armies take over this high ground and then suddenly your natural screwed. Like, it is so hard to be the defending player on the low ground, especially with mischance, right? Remember, in StarCraft Evolution, high ground has a bigger advantage because there's a chance that your opponent misses if they shoot into high ground. It's like a 43% chance to miss. So like positions like this are just very, very abusable. Very, very abusable. On top of that, this third base here is safe, but it's also very far away. And again, this area in between the natural and the northern third base is very exposed and very vulnerable. Very vulnerable. Well, regardless, we'll see. For now, Stargate. Stargate open out of herO. Meanwhile, Hydraless opener out of YoungYakov does open Hydras early on, bearing in mind that Hydra tech is hatch based. So hatch tech here for Hydras. Hydras are massing early on to defend, to shut down early aggression and the early Stargate play. Soldiers poking in. Just poking, just prodding. Depths are moving out, so the Oracle is on the way. Ooh, and we're going for a heavy gateway setup here on 2 bases before expanding. So a delayed third base for herO, extra gateways, extra aggression. Meanwhile, we do see YoungYakov going into 2 base lair. He's going for his lair at the natural. There we go. So lair is on the way. Evo chamber hidden behind the mineral line, going into heavy Hydra tech. I'm assuming working towards lurkers here. Adept scouts. It does scout the chamber. Oracle perks in, Hydras are ready. And the Oracle does no damage. Ooh, does barely pull away. So the Oracle's going to be zoned away. Meanwhile, behind this, we're doubling down here on 2 bases. Not just extra gateways, but going for charge and a Fortress +1. So heavy 2 base play here out of herO. Taking up a little bit harder. herO, he's expanding, but it's going to be delayed, and he's going for the triangular third. Oh boy. Going for that triangular third base. Meanwhile, we're still waiting to see if YoungYakov commits on 2 bases himself. Link speed is now on the way. It was delayed earlier for faster Hydras. Link speed, we assumed that with the lair was going to be for lurker tech. There it is. Lurker tech is on the way. So 2 base lurker out of YoungYakov. As he moves out, Epson moving in. Uh-oh. And we don't quite commit. It does not commit to the shade. Oracle going to be zoned away. And I do really like mass charge against Ling Hydra. I do think it's going to be quite a solid composition. Lurkers will complicate things, for sure. As Yakov is going to break out. Still no expansion. Late third. Like our hatchery now going to be on the way. Building up more Hydras. Lurker tech is still not quite ready. Ooh. And here he will catch a couple Hydras. Barely not. Alright, they get low, but they do survive. hero's still containing his opponents. I don't believe hero's scouted the third. He's going in? Oh, good. Be careful. You can see hero trying to bait. He does have a force field, so he's trying to bait the army through the choke point, then force field and catch out some units. Cheeky moves out of hero. Very cheeky. Using the SimCity against YoungYakov. Zealots, they do scout the main base. Oracle Revelation to the main as well. Sorry, they scout the third. Oh, there's that force field catching out some Zerglings. So ideally hero, he wanted to catch some Hydras. We'll settle for some Zerglings. As hero, he rotates over. The army is just going to be going across the map. Yakov is just going for the 2-base all-in. He's going for the all-in. Third base is denied. Lurkers, they burrow. And back at home, what do we have to defend? No splash damage. No splash damage. We have a cannon, a shield battery, 2 cannons even. But again, there's just a massive entrance here into the third. There's no choke point. Yeah, no choke point. So far, Zelsa holding on. Immortals have arrived. Oh. Zelsa in the Revelation. Are we coming for the surround? Can we get on top of the Lurkers? Oh no! Yeah, Zelsa a little bit late to move in. But they do not. Yeah, they do not. Lurkers, they just evaporate those Zealots. Zelsa gets shut down. And yeah, YoungYakov is doing it. He's breaking through. So many Lurkers here. Boys are being pulled. Massive shots here on the probes. Yeah, Lurker shots are just too much here. The 2-base all-in zone was out of control. With that YoungYakov, he will take a lead in this series. Yeah, breaks through the main army, breaks through the mineral line as well. Again, a very indefendable third base, so it just crumbles. And again, Zealots, they struggled so much against those Lurkers. They just evaporated back. Ay, ay, ay. And they go shut down. We can see here trying to catch reinforcements, but the damage has been done. This is also partially due to hero staying on 2 bases for as long as he did. The early Zealot aggression not really achieving as much damage as he was hoping for. I guess was at least containing his opponent on 2 bases, but could not handle the all-in. Couldn't handle it back. The Lankers are coming. As Yakov is pushing forward. Is there early detection? There's one. Okay, one observer. Which is across the map. Oh, god. So no detection here. Second observer is now being built. If we can get on top of the robot, we can just deny that. So the robot is dealt with. And it looks like YoungYakov just wants to contain. He's just containing his opponents. I say that no droning yet. There we go. Now mixing in a couple of workers. Mixing in some drones. Oh my god, the Immortals, they do clump up, and massive connections here. 1, 2, 3 Immortals going to be going down. The Lurkers, they dominate the ground army. Jesus. Insane damage. GG gets called, and YoungYakov takes game number 1. GG. Whew. GG, well played. Now, this is where CRHB is in trouble. CRHB, they are in trouble here. Hero, he does take a loss here in game number 1. Oh, there we go. We'll fix it up. Again, Hero, he was able to contain his opponent on 2 bases, but YoungYakov, he just embraced the 2-base all-in. He embraced the 2-base all-in. Fast gas into fast lair, into fast lurker tech, into that lurker breakout moment, of course. Hero could not handle that kind of breakout moment. He was unable to defend his 3rd base, and it all just snowballed from there out of control. Now, what's concerning about this game, though, is that this was Hero at his best. He was playing SE2 Protoss. Now Hero has to play Brood War Protoss. Now we're going to be switching races here in a sense, or switching game modes for our players. And this is where Hero has less experience. This is where he's going to be, I would assume, a little bit less confident as well. YoungYakov is going to be more confident playing SE2 Zerg. So the pressure is on Hero. He has to fight back here and now. Otherwise, Stallion Balls are going to take a lead in the series. They can start to gain more momentum. And the whole plan was to save Classic, but we might have to field him. Might have to send Classic out. Let's go. As spawning in the top left-hand corner of Polopoid, we have the Brood War Protoss player here, the Red Protoss from South Korea representing Team CRHB. The pressure is on. It is herO. And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner, we have the now SC2 Zerg player, the Blue Zerg for Team Stouty Bulls leading the series 1-0. It is YoungYakov. Here we go. As herO does find his opponent immediately. Does find Yakov. And we'll be able to delay the expansion, actually. True. He can pylon block. So forcing the unnatural natural out of YoungYakov. Welcome to Polopoid. I mean, again, same map. Same map, of course. We do have close spawns. Last time it was diagonal. This time close spawns here at the vertical locations. Bottom left and top left. And this means that aggression is going to be favored. Now, we could see, I know that Classic is willing to give herO builds, of course. And Classic, he does like to mix in some early Citadel and early charge builds to be hyper aggressive. There are some, of course, say Reaver drop openers. I know that recently in the meta, we've been seeing a lot of Stargate and Scout-based builds, but I feel like that's better on larger maps and longer spawns. Based on the close spawns here, I feel like Stargate Scout play would be punished a little bit too hard. It's my assumption. We'll see. And now we're going to be opening up. We're going to be opening up. Again, a bit of a delayed hatchery out of YoungYakov, but at least he wasn't forced to expand at an unnatural location, which would have made things a little more awkward defensively, especially based on the third base spawns. True. For Zelda's move out with purpose. The power walking. Let's go. Look at him go. I love the power walking zealots in StarCraft Evolution. And it is in fact going to be the Stargate opener. If you recall, I was theorizing that this might be a little bit risky because of the spawn locations to open up Stargate to scouts, but looks like herO is going for it. Okay. So let's go for the scout opener. For those that are maybe a little bit less familiar with StarCraft Evolution, scouts have been buffed. They've been like 10 plus different like changes to the scout. Like the scout is almost like the bunker build time in StarCraft 2. Where every other patch, like the scout gets adjusted and tweaked in some which way. I feel like the other unit that's similar to the scout is the BC. The battlecruiser has also been like buffed and nerfed and changed and flipped around and spun. A lot's been done to both those units and it has changed quite. We've been seeing a lot of regular changes to them, just to try to like make them a little bit more viable, of course, as an opener for Stargate play. And we see it's only going to be an opener. Okay, so Stargate opener into Zealot legs. We do have the Citadel. Citadel of Adun is for Zealot legs. I say Zealot legs and not charge because technically there is no charge in Brood War. It is just Zealot speed. For the speedlets. True. So you can see here that we're massing up Zealots already. And we go give them some Nikes. So they can zoom. As again, just the initial scout, just deny vision. So it's not mass scout. Just one scout denying vision. Oh, this is a little bit greedy here. We're taking up in multiple directions. We have a Hydrogen here on the top side and a hidden Spire in the main. So quite greedy going for both. Hydrogen and Spire. Zell say waddle in. There are some things to defend. Are in position. Zell legs on the way. I think this is still one of the assets that we have yet to make custom. As usually the StarCraft Evolution team, they do like making like custom visuals here for all their units, for all their upgrades. Here it does poke in. So far, the Spire is unscouted, so we aren't actually making any Hydras. I believe the Hydra Den is a fake out. Basically, a fake Hydra Den into Mutas. Very risky, but I mean, it can work. My big concern here is, yeah, the response. Mutas, I mean, there's very little anti-air, right? There's no Dragoons. There's no Corsair, there's only one Scout, so there's not much anti-air, but we have a lot on the ground here, and a purely Ling defense is going to be difficult to pull off. Yeah, Zalce move in. They hit the natural, getting on top of the Queen. Yeah, Mutas are revealed. Mutas now popping out. Zalce trade very well for themselves. But we're on a timer here. These Zelts are going to be cleaned up. And so far, not enough damage. Not enough damage. One drone kill so far. 2 queens. It does get into the mineral line. And more drones going to be going down. Zalce busts into the natural. Getting a 3rd queen. Yeah, 3 queen kills. That's 6 drones. 3rd base has been spotted. More Zelts are amassing. And Corsair production has begun. And we'll see if herO can survive the counterattack. These Zelts are distracting the Mutas, though. They are distracting. Zalce bust through the Lings. Jesus. Okay, they're tanky boys. Zalce break through the Zerglings. They once again bust into the mineral line and getting another 6 drones. Oh, this is getting out of hand. Getting out of hand here. Getting another 6. Getting another 8 drones. Oof. Yeah, 8 to 9 drones going down. Hatchery down to half HP. Mutas, they respond. And they will catch the Scout. Scout does go down. Zelzo kept hidden. And I believe we built up to 2. Yeah, 2 Corsairs, soon to be 3. So 3 Corsairs, Mass Dragoon. hero's had time to make that transition. Once again, does hit the 3rd. Mutas, they won't be able to defend, and this 3rd base may just go down. Yeah, it's gonna fall. Massive pickoff. herO is popping off. It's popping off across the map. Mutas, they do hit the mineral line. Cannon goes down. Corsairs, they overextend. 1 Corsair falls. Yeah, they overextend, but they, with good enough control, they should be able to hold their own. Losing another Corsair. Yeah, 2nd Corsair falls, but that's 2 Corsairs for 4 Mutalisks. And it's still worth it because the Zealots, they killed the 3rd. They killed the 3rd base. You see here making 2 Corsairs at a time. Again, here he's had so much time to build up Dragoons. I was concerned that after the Zealot aggression that Mutas would just counterattack immediately, but no, like the hero did a great job at keeping him busy. Keeping the Mutas at home. Keeping them preoccupied. As YoungYakov once again tries to catch out one of the Corsairs, not quite able to. Storm is on the way. Dragoons, they come in from behind, trying to surround. Oof. It's 2 Corsairs falling. Oh no, the Mutas! Ooh, the Archon! Yeah, massive Archon shots. So many Mutas go down. Yeah, heavy losses for YoungYakov. And every Muta will fall. Yeah, oh, but the stutter stepping. Yeah, here he's having fun. He's having fun with the Corsairs. Just bullying the Mutas. We'll lose 1 more, but he will clean up every single Mutalist at the same time. Here he commits. Yeah, he commits across. Breaking on through. Banelings, designations on the Zealots, but they tank. Yeah, they tank the Banelings. Dragoons trying to move in. We are still lacking some support. Oh, the Archon's exposed. Massive snipe. Uh-oh. The Archon goes down. 1 Dragoon as well. We need more Zealots. We need more Zealots. Once again, hero's now moving in. He's got his High Templar, he's got his Storms. Storm is now done. And the first storm does land. Zoning away that. Oh god! We cannot move back in. Yeah, the storms are here. Massive storm of the Hydras. Hydras, they go down. 1 more storm. Ooh, brutal connection. Yeah, brutal connection. Hydras, they just get annihilated, and herO, it looks like he will fight back. He will run away with this game. I was definitely concerned for herO coming into game number 2 here, but no. herO did very, very well with his Zealots. Again, most impressed by the fact that he was able to peel off Zealots and go back in and just buy time and keep the mutas busy, keep them at home, giving himself time to build up the Dragoons, build up his Corsairs. Now we have a third base, now we have Storm. Now this army is much more robust. And Yakov is stuck with Hydras. He's now stuck with Ling Hydra. No Lurker attack and limited Ling Vein. Oh, Hydras, sorry, mutas, sorry, the High Templar are exposed. That doesn't matter. Jesus, the Hydras, they just melt instantly. It's crazy. They just get incinerated by the storms. Oh no. Yeah, the storm's insane. GG gets called, and with that herO, he will fight back. He will tie things up 1-1. GG. Whew. GG, well played. Oh. As again, very impressive play there by herO to be able to push in, to be able to buy time, punish the muta play, counterattack, keep them busy, and transition out of Mass Zealot into Dragoon Corsair. Into that Dragoon Corsair army, eventually into Storm, of course. That was kind of like the cherry on top, into Storm towards the end. But with that, a really nice transition, really nice harassment, really nice distraction there from herO, keeping YoungYakov busy, and eventually overwhelming. GG. GG, well played. With that, we are now getting ready for our next game in the series. Now the pressure's on Stouty Bulls. Stouty Bulls, they have to field their next player. So herO, and to be fair, so does CRHB. So does CRHB. So the way this format works, just like in WTL, if you remember, from a couple of years ago, just like in the World Team League, in this best of 2 format, so far it's only been 2-0s, right? Solar, he toured Milky Cow, so Solar stayed on. Then YoungYakov toured Solar, so YoungYakov stayed on. Now herO and YoungYakov 1-1, they knock each other out. They just knocked each other out, so they're both down, they're both out for the count, and now both teams have to field fresh players. Now, who do we have left? So for CRHB, we got 2 players. We have Shin and Classic. Shin and Classic. I did mention earlier that they probably want to save Classic. You probably want to save Classic until the end. So I would imagine that Shin will be fielded. From Stouty Bulls, you can snipe, right? If your expectation is that there's a very high chance that Shin gets sent out, we could try to send out a Zerg and ZVZ again. GG Machine, right? GG Machine is the other Zerg player on Stouty Bulls that I would say would threaten Shin and a ZVZ. The other option is Shameless. I do think that Shameless is a bit of a weaker choice right now just because of his inexperience in StarCraft Evolution. The other strong choice would be Zodiant, but Zodiant, he's a TBT specialist, right? Like Zodiant, he's like you can send him out against Cure, send him out against Clem, against Björn even. Like I like the idea of sending Zodiant out for a TBT, but there's no Terran player on CRHB, so yeah, we'll see. I might be forgetting someone, but I'm thinking of Shameless, GG Machine, and Zodiant, right? Those are the 3 players that come to mind for CRHB. I would say that YoungYakov is the ace player for the team, and they've already spent him, right? They spent their, in my mind, ace player. The others can definitely snipe, but we'll see. We'll see. In my mind, Shin versus GG Machine would make sense, but who we're going to field, who we sending out? So we jump into our 4th series here, and oh, okay, bold move. It is indeed going to be Shin, no surprise there. So Shin for CRHB. Meanwhile, for Team Stouty Bulls, they are going to be sending out another player. They're going to be sending out Zodiant. Okay, so they're holding on to GG Machine. They're sending out Zodiant. Zodiant, he is a very experienced player in StarCraft Evolution for sure. As I mentioned, like he is a TVT sniper. Like there we go. He's a TVT sniper, and he can look very strong in Terran versus Terran. In these other matchups, he's not bad, but we'll see how he compares. We'll see how he compares here as we're loading into our next series, into our best of 2. Game 1, washout. And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of Washout, we have the South Korean Zerg player. We have the Brood War Zerg representing Team CRHB. It is Shin. He puts the B in CRHB. And spawning in the top right-hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the SC2 Terran player for Team Stouty Balls. It is Zardiant. And currently, the series is tied 2-2. We're tied up 2-2 here. And we'll see who takes the lead in the series. We'll see who does take a lead here so far as we're loading into Washout. Washout is an interesting map in the map pool. It's a little bit larger, does have a lot of alleyways. It can be difficult to flank a pushing army on this map for sure. Can be difficult to flank. We do have some hybrid expansions here on the south side and on the north side of the map as well. Hybrid bases, hybrid expansions. Does have some unique quirks for sure. And we'll see how we open up. Oh, as Zardiant is going to be opening up with an extra Rax. Okay. Gas back at home. 2 Rax Reaper out of Zardiant. Meanwhile, it is going to be a standard hatch gas pool out of Shin. Bearing in mind that as a Zerg player in Brood War, you do not have Queens, or Queens are very different units. You don't have Queens as early game defensive units. So Mass Reaper can actually excel, can do some damage here, especially if your opponent's a little bit unfamiliar with this dynamic. We'll see what Zardiant can accomplish. Likewise, 2 Rax Reaper is also the setup here for a 2-1-1. We have seen players like Maru and Björn go 2 Rax Reaper into mech before. Like, that is something that we have seen in the past. I'm not putting it past Zardiant, because when I think of Zardiant, I think of a meching player. But we'll see. We shall see. So now we have our first, second, and third Reaper coming. Overlord does confirm the initial Reaper opener. Ling speed is on the way. We have 6 Lings in production. And we'll see if Shin can minimize drone losses. Oh, yeah, bit of friendly fire. Reaper gets turned away. 6 Lings have arrived, and Shin holds. Yeah, Shinny does hold. Does defend. Second Reaper's coming. So on nice control, Shinny pulls back the weakened Zerglings. It tries to pull back even, but we've got 1, 2 Lings that will be going down. Not bad. Extra Lings are on the way. And this is getting a little bit out of hand here. Ling speed is still not quite done. Reapers are getting a full scout. Third base is also getting up. This will trigger a counterattack, and it's going to be a 4 Rax. Oh, okay. We have 2 extra Raxes in the main base. That's going to be hyper aggressive here on 2 bases for Zardiant. So getting up to 4 Raxes, going into a heavy stim timing. This is a borderline 2-base all-in. It's hyper aggressive. Hyper aggressive. We do see that Shin, he will scout. Wow, he does come in from behind. He does scout an extra Rax being built, and he saw one being lifted. Yep, you can see him do a double take. You can see the Overlord do a double take for a moment. He's like, wait, what? What are you doing? Oh my god, you're crazy. So Shin, he now sees how aggressive his opponent's going to be. Ooh, the Reapers, they do counterattack. They backstab. Shin's out of position, and that's going to be another 2 drones going down. Nicely done here by Zardiant. Comes in from behind, gets another 1, gets another 2 drones. Oof. Yeah, 5 drone kills in total. Not bad. Yeah, not bad at all. And all these things, they shouldn't really find much damage here. Remember, there's a full wall. There's a full wall. There's going to be Marines behind this as well. Add-ons are safe. What's exposed is this 1 depot. This 1 depot has a lot of surface area on it. But outside of that, Zardiant, he's perfectly fine here. Okay, he's fine. And again, Shin, he has to drone up, but at the same time, he has to make sure he's ready for that 4 Rax. The 4 Rax is still amassing. Stim is going to be done, but the Marine kind of still getting there. Shin, he has begun Hydra production. Just getting cold. Putting on a jacket. Oh, just trying to warm up as here we go. It's go time. Yeah, it's going to be go time. How many Marines do we have? 31. 31 Marines, a heavy Marine count. The boys are being pulled 2 base all in, which, I mean, it was already a 2 base all in to begin with. And now we pull the boys just for that support. Remember, there's no Banelings here ready for Shin. No Banelings. So this is where pulling the boys is even stronger. Shin does try to backstab. We do have a full wall. Yeah, we have that full wall off back at home. Again, we need as many Hydras and sunken colonies as possible. Shin also shouldn't be afraid to pull his own boys if need be. SCVs are revealed. Oof. The colonies aren't ready. Yeah, they're not ready yet. And with that Zardi, he snowballs out of control. He takes down 1, 2, 3, 4. He's taking down so many Hydras. Heavy losses here for Shin. Ay, ay, ay. So many Hydras go down. He's trying to buy more time. But the Hydras, every time, they're so vulnerable. They're so exposed. He's running out of SCVs. 15 SCVs do fall. That was how many losses? Getting 13 Hydralisks. But Zardiant, he's backing off. He's waiting for another round. Let's go. See, that was all the SCVs at the natural. Now it's time for the main base boys here. Let's go. The second boy pool. These are from the main. Last Shin, he will miss them. He will barely miss them here as Lings, they try to come in from behind. Will miss the reinforcements. Here comes the second round. And this is designed to kill. Designed to kill. The colonies are done. True. Yeah, the colonies, they buy a lot of time. The army's getting a little bit overstimmed here, but does start a step forward, catching out 5 extra Hydras. Late reaction by Shin. Yeah, late reaction, late response. Marines, they do push in towards the mineral lines. Surrounds one of the colonies. Colony does go down. And we're running out of Marines. Yeah, barely running out. Barely not enough here. Reinforcements will clean up. 1 drone. Only 1 drone kill. And the all-in has failed. GG. That's... The all-in has failed. Zardian, he's down to 5 SCVs. He traded well for himself. Don't get me wrong. He did trade very, very well. But he ran out of Marines towards the end. He needed more reinforcements. If these reinforcements were rallying across the map, I think he might just killed. He might have just killed. But this is giving so much time to Shin to build up more army, to build up more reinforcements. It's giving him so much time. Speaking of Lings, they do delay any extra reinforcements. This could still work, actually. It's still 29 Marines. Yeah, 29 Marines does start to step in, catching another 3, 4 Hydras. Once again, late to react, late to pull away. Yeah, boys being pulled, and the Marines, they are breaking through. He's stepping back. Yeah, he's barely stepping, barely breaking all the Hydras. And I was concerned about Zardiant here in the ZVT, but no, he's got some builds. He barely has enough. Odabas! Oh my god. Yeah, barely breaks into the main base. Just barely. Diving on reinforcements, diving on Hydras. Catching out the production. At the same time, remember, Shin, he has another expansion. He can just evacuate to his spine crawlers, to his colonies at the 3rd. Surrounds the Marines. It all surround the Marines. Shin is holding. Yeah, Shin is holding. He's holding on. He cleans up all the Hellions. Just barely. Remember, he has 2 colonies here at the 3rd. Shin just has to maintain control of the high ground. It was a messy defense out of Shin. We definitely could have seen some better control, some better stutter stepping with the Hydras and better reactions as well. So it has been a messy defense. But it is a defense. Mules are good. They're not that good. Right? Oh. They'll stutter step in. Once again, they're bleeding out so many Marines. And GG. GG gets called with that. Shin, he survives the all-in and then survives the second all-in. And Shin takes game number 1. GG. Whew. GG, well played. With that, Shin, he does take a lead in the series. A very intense game 1 there. Very, very intense here between Shin and Zardiant. Again, Zardiant had a lot of potential, of course. We saw Shin did make mistakes when it came to the defense that did allow Zardiant to actually trade even better against all the Hydras, but barely didn't have enough to break the economy of Shin. Just barely. GG. Whew. GG, well played. And with that, Shin does take a lead in the series, and we'll see if Zodiant has another build up his sleeve. What do you have for us? Again, I don't really favor Zodiant in a longer macro game, but if we got some cheeky all-ins, then yo, we can pop up. Let's go. Let's go. And spawning in the top right-hand corner of Washouts, we have the red Zerg player. The red Zerg player himself representing Team CRHB, leading the series 1-0. It is Shin. And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner, we have his opponents. We have the Brood War Terran. The Brood War Terran, we have the Striker 1 Terran for Team Stowny Balls. It is Zodiant. Let's go. See in chat, don't think Shin will fall for Reaper cheese. 2x Reaper is not cheese, it's a standard opener. Regarding to the build that we saw last game. Hello, Shin. What's going on? But it was a standard opener from Zodiant. It was the follow, which is the 4x stim all-in, which was more cheeky, more cheesy, of course. But Shin opening up with what looks to be a hatch block. No, we do open hatch first, though. Interesting. Shin, what's going on? Does go for the drone scouts. It does nibble away here at Zodiant. He might feel, especially because of the 2-base all-in that we just saw, he might feel threatened from like a cheese or a proxy, so it does go for the drone scouts. We'll disrupt some of the early game, and we'll disrupt some of the mining, of course. Meanwhile, it is going to be what looks to be a 3-rack stim timing. Yep, there we go. 3 racks is on the way. Now, this is likewise a standard build, going 3 racks into an academy into stim, but what isn't standard is if we see a 4th rack. So if we see a 4 racks, then it's going to be a 2-base all-in. Similar to last game, but this does hit earlier, this does hit harder. We've gone over this before. It is 4 racks. You can see here the 4th racks is hidden. Remember, 3 racks is standard, 4 racks is not. And you could also argue that the 2nd and 3rd racks are very, very early here, and that's very unorthodox, for sure. 2 drones? What the hell? He's got a 2nd drone out here. He delays the CC. Yeah, he's looking to delay the CC here. A lot of damage to the initial SCVs. The command center will finish. But this is a big investment early on, and Shin, he will confirm all 3 racks at least. Remember, he does not see the 4th racks, though. There's a reason why it's hidden. Now, when it comes to this build and the reason why this does hit harder, it's similar to the last game. It's similar to the last build that we saw out of SC2 Terran. For Brood War Terran, this hits harder because of medics. In StarCraft 2, you need a starport. You need to take them to a factory and a starport to get medevac support. Here, medics are constructed and built from the racks. So you can make Marines and Firebats and medics, all from the same production building. So this can hit very, very hard. Very, very hard. And Shin has to take it seriously. Typically, to defend against this, we do see either Roach defenses or Baneling defenses. You can go Roach or Bane. You can pull off some Ling Queen defense against a 3-axe, but against a 4-axe, I feel like you need further tech. Either a Baneling Nest or a Roach Warren. One or the other. We'll see how greedy Shin is going to be. Show us the Roach Warren. Oh, there it is. So Roach defense here by Shin. Scan does confirm the Roaches. So Shin is playing safe, thankfully. He's playing it safe. He's going to play Roach. If he delayed or skipped his Roach Warren, and if he skipped his Baneling Nest, then he'd be in trouble. But Shin, he has a way to defend. When it comes to this, I would imagine that Zodiant is going to pull the boys again. He's going to pull the boys, send it across the map. Here we go, it's go time. We have our medics, we have our Marines, and here come the boys. There's not that many, because there's just not many workers. That shows how early this is hitting. This is hitting much, much earlier here. Shin taking up into a lair. Lair is on the way, Roaches are amassing. And Zodiant is coming. He's got 22 Marines, 0 Roaches so far, getting up to 8. Getting up to 8 Roaches. Is that enough? First overload goes down. So does the second. Supply blocking Shin. Ooh, big supply block. Zodiant moving in. Pushing towards the natural. Dust him. It us in forward, catching a queen. Yeah, one queen is going to go down. Oh, just barely. Boys being pulled, and the boys, they help support. They help buffer. They buffer nicely. At the same time, running out of roaches. Queens, they move into support as well. And it is going to be close, but we're running out of marines. We're running out of marines. Does break through the third base. More overload. Oh, God, the overload. Yeah, catching out more roaches. Two more roaches go down. Shinny's running out of army. He's droning? That's crazy. He's droning in the face of the all-in baby. Oh my god. The confidence out of Shin. I mean, the Marines are low. The Marines are low. Roaches, they do pop out just barely in time, and Shin holds. Shin, he does hold on amidst droning. Crazy, baby, crazy. I mean, it was shaky. It was a shaky defense here. Shin did lose 4 queens. He lost 4 queens. He lost 11 drones as well. This would be good damage if Zardi wasn't all in. Remember, Zardi, he has no economy. He has no economy. He has no workers back at home. Only 20 SCVs. This was not good enough damage. Not good enough. Shin holds. Shin he holds. He defends. We can see that Zardi is going for a second wave, this time with U-23HLs. U-23HLs. And here comes the second wave, this time with extra boys. Honestly, if we had gone for the first all-in, the first wave with the main-based SCVs, would that have been enough? There were only 3 roaches towards the end. Maybe. That might have been enough, unironically. With only 3 roaches surviving at the very end. But this feels a little bit too late, because now we have a spine. Now we have a spine cooler. We've rebuilt some of the queens. Okay, the boys have arrived. Roaches, we've got to kite back. Yeah, we have to kite back here. Ooh, Shinny's gonna fight head on. Best case scenario for its audience. Cleans up half the roaches. Yeah, half the roaches go down. Stints into the natural. Boys are being pulled. Does get 1 queen. Yeah, takes down 1 queen. Takes down a couple of workers as well. But there are too many roaches. Yeah, there are too many roaches, too many reinforcements. GG gets called. The all-in does peter out, and Shin will claim the 2-0. GG. Whew. GG, well played. Shin, he will claim the 2-0 over Zardiant. Against Zardiant, he had a very, very good game 1. Game 1, again, he was so close to just killing Shin outright. Game 1 was close. Here in Game 2, Shin had a bit of a more comfortable defense. I still stand by what I said, where if Zardiant had pulled all those boys for the first wave, I think he would have broken through. I think he would have broken through. At the same time, though, if Shin had seen all those SCVs, there's a chance that maybe Shin doesn't drone, right? Maybe Shin doesn't drone in that defense, and he takes it a little bit more seriously. Hard to say. Game 1 was much more clutch and much more close. Here in Game 2, again, felt like a stronger defense. Big reason for that is the roaches, right? We did have that roach defense, so roaches are very robust, they're very tanky, they're ideal when it comes to defensive play and defensive units, and Shin thankfully did not cut corners. As we mentioned, there's a world you can gamba if Shin went... If he skipped roaches, if he believed it was just a regular 3-racks, if he skipped roaches, if he skipped banelings, then Shin probably just dies. Or even with a baneling defense, it's a little bit more risky. It's more efficient, but it is more risky because if the banelings get focused down, then the Terran army just snowballs out of control. So there were different options there for how Shin could have reacted, but he went for the safest response, right? Went for the safest response, went into roaches, GG. GG, well played. With that, Shin, he will claim the 2-0, and now we're getting into our next matchup here. Oh boy, so I feel like we got 1 player left. Technically we have 2, but I feel like it's really 1 here. It's either going to be Shameless for Stowny Bulls, or it's going to be GG Machine, right? It's going to be one or the other, and I don't really have... Like, if this was SE2... Shameless, 100%. If this was just regular StarCraft 2, I'd send out Shameless over some of these other guys, over Milky Cow, over GG Machine, maybe even over YoungYakov. I would favor Shameless. But here in StarCraft Evolution, I feel like GG Machine is a stronger player. So I'm leaning towards ZVZ here, but the pressure is on Stowny Bulls. I believe this is their last player. So Stowny Bulls, they've already sent out Milky Cow, YoungYakov, and Zardiant. Yep, 1 player left. They can field 1 more player here. Oh boy. Meanwhile, CRHB, they still have Classic. Remember, they still have Classic in the back line if they need him. So the pressure is on. And up next, Oh, we're going to revive. Okay. So you do have the teams, they do have an option to revive if they so choose to. And it looks like instead of fielding GG Machine or instead of fielding Shameless, we are going to revive YoungYakov. All right, let's go. So they're going to be reviving YoungYakov. It's going to be a ZVZ. I kind of agree with this. This does mean that if we go all the way to the ace match, if Yakov can take down Shin, and if Classic and YoungYakov knock each other out and we force the ace match, bearing in mind, this means that YoungYakov cannot play as the ace player. The way that the rules work, you can revive a player when it comes to the series, but if you revive someone, they cannot be fielded as the ace player. So just bear that in mind, that now YoungYakov, he's kind of removed from that possibility. So that is the risk that you take. But let's go. Let us go. As game 1 is going to be on BlackRock. And spawning in the in the bottom left-hand corner, in the bottom left-hand corner, we have the red Zerg player. We have the SC2 Zerg representing Team CRHB. And hey, he's close to closing out the series here. It is Shin. And spawning in the top right-hand corner, we have the final player here for Team Stony Bulls. He has been revived to fight back once again. The blue Brood War Zerg. It is YoungYakov. Let's go. Let us go. We have our ZVZ here. Now, the way this works is that I believe because YoungYakov, he is the revived and final player here, he has to 2-0. If he can 2-0 Shin, he can force out Classic, and then we can think about maybe an ace match. But I believe Shin needs to win only one game. Shin needs to win one game here, and if he wins one game, that would be the end of the series. We might play out the entire best of 2 just for points. In the playoffs, that makes less sense. Yeah. So I believe Shin needs to win one game. He needs to win one game. Meanwhile, YoungYakov needs to 2-0. Meanwhile, gas first. So gas pool, early link speed here out of YoungYakov, going for a link flood. Meanwhile, Shin is going hatch first into delayed gas. Oh, okay. So delayed gas is out of Shin. This tells us a couple of things here. One, because gas is so late, typically this means we're going to be delaying link speed and we're going to be going into 2-base heavy play. Meanwhile, YoungYakov with early gas, with link speed now being researched, if we stay in gas, this leads into a faster either hydrogen or faster lair. And we are staying in gas. So I'm very curious to see what this gas is going to be spent on. Meanwhile, a big shout to Pesavenga in the chat. God, thank you so much. Thank you so much for gifting a sub to JSADDG to the community. Gifting a sub to the community. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. We're getting a little community support here tonight. We appreciate it. We appreciate it, Pappy. Thank you. Thank you. Hope you enjoy the content, the casting of the StarCraft. Hope you enjoy. Oh. As we do see, YoungYakov getting his own base up and running, his own macro hatchery, does pull out of gas, did have some excess gas here to work with, but does eventually pull out. You can see him banking up his Zerglings, waiting for link speed. First wave does move out. Just poking in. Poking, prodding. And in my eyes, Shin is going to skip link speed. And you can see he is, yeah. So again, typically when you go for a late gas, you skip link speed. So no link speed here for Shin. He's walling off and going 2-base lair, and this could mean 2-base muta. I say could. Technically, this could be like a 2-base Roach Queen Nidus all in. It could be a 2-base Roach all in. It could just be 2-base Roach into a 3rd base. Doesn't have to be muta, but we're leaning towards 2-base muta here. Like, technically, this could be something weird like 2-base Swarm Host or 2-base Hydra and 2-base Lurker, but those builds are insanely niche, so they're not really viable at this level of play. Meanwhile, YoungYakov, we see what the early gas is for lair as well. Is there a world where we see muta versus muta? Is that Is that this world? Never mind. Hydra then. Okay. There was a chance here that we could see a Spire versus a Spire, but it is going to be a Hydra den here at a YoungYakov. So it looks like Hydra Lurker out of our Blue Zerg. Lings, they try to engage. Shin does hold. Lair is late. Am I crazy? Did Shin start and then cancel his Lair? Did he? No, he didn't. I don't know why, but in my mind, he started this Lair a little bit earlier. So, in the end, I mean, Lair is going to be on the way. Plus one Carapace here. Interesting. This Lair feels too late for 2-base Muta. So it looks like Roach base play instead. Looks like Roaches. I mean, we have Carapace as well, which also kind of leans more towards Roaches alongside that. Fast Lurkers at a YoungYakov. I think when it comes to the builds of choice here, I favor YoungYakov. Like, Yakov is going to have a really big power spike with Lurkers. Really, really big. Now, Roach Ravager can deal with Lurkers, of course. So you need Biles, right? Biles are a good way to try to punish siege units, to bile them down, and to even force micro out of your opponent as well. So Biles are a way to deal with this. But I still favor YoungYakov initially, depending. I mean, it depends on how many Lurkers we can build up, how quickly. So the Lurker tech is almost done. Hydra's already here. We're about to morph them in. Again, this is an insane Lurker timing. Hydra on these 3 Hydras. And then we can push in, then we can just threaten the wall. We might be able to even threaten the tech. Here they come. The Lunkers, pappy. Yeah, Lurker tech is ready. We're hiding the Lurkers. Here they come. 3 Lurkers morphing in. Now, is there a world where Lurkers move in, they burrow within range of this Roach Warren, and then they can bring it down? Remember, currently 0 detection, right? Oh, no, sorry. There's 2 overseers. 1 across the map, and no, both across the map. Yeah, they're both across the map. They do get a full scout. They confirm the lair. God damn it. Every time. Lurkers are ready. Upgrades finish. Okay. I was thinking if we could maybe hit before the upgrades would complete, but no, they're gonna finish up, so this is fine. So Shin will finish his upgrades. Lurkers are ready, but there's no follow-up. Like, there's no support. So we had a really fast Lurker timing for YoungYakov, and we're not really using it. So the Lurker timing is kind of coming and going here. It's not really being utilized outside of securing the 3rd. I believe this is here ready for a counterattack for whenever Shin moves out. So we're just waiting for Shin to move out and then bam, counterattack. I believe that is the goal. But you could definitely make an argument that we could have been a little bit more efficient with the early game. I mean, again, like, I feel like the purpose here though is to survive and to get a 3rd base to begin with. This build would have been better if Shin was more aggressive, for sure. But Shin's been playing very safe. Very, very safe. Getting his 3rd up and running, getting it fully saturated. 2-2 is on the way. Infestation bit for Hive Tech. Ooh, Lurkers are revealed. Yeah, too early. Too soon. 1, 2, 3 Lurkers go down. Brutal losses here for YoungYakov. Remember, the goal here was to backstab with the Lurkers, but they get shut down early. Oof. Very unfortunate for YoungYakov. He gets caught with his pants down. And Shin so far looking solid, building up his Roach Ravager. Building on more Roaches, building on more Ravagers. Bearing in mind that Lurkers have less range than the SC2 Lurker. They have less range. So it's much more viable for Roach Ravager to be able to scale and to be able to keep up and contest against heavy Lurker play. Comes Yakov, pushing through the center. Queen's Nest on the way. Hive is on the way for Shin. Shin wants Vipers. That's kind of his quote-unquote win condition. Is to build up in a Viper tech and then Blinding Cloud or Abduct. technically, we could have tried to hit with like Infestors or Microbo Shroud, but I mean, that'd be crazy. Those Vipers are more secure. Yakov setting up a run by. Shin is not quite in position. He's got a couple of units. He can respond. The snare is being researched. We have queens on the way. Once again, ideally, YoungYakov, he wants to wait for Shin to move out. Wait for the move out, and then backstab. That is the ideal. And now Shin is just turtling up on 4 bases. Shout out to load speed. As again, Breath Hummers are just maxing out. I do still favor Shin's position here once we get Vipers. Like, Viper tech has yet to really begin. That's really unfortunate with the... True, no! It changed things to get caught out. You can drop on top of the high ground. We now have lurkers on the way for Shin. I would say that the lurkers here for SE2 are superior to that of the Brood War lurker. So yeah, we're just gonna chill. We're just chilling, taking up. Yeah, that parasite. Yakov's moving in. At the same time, Roach Run. But I do like this. We have to get rid of these roaches at dead supply. They're hurting Shin more than helping. Just picking up a couple of drones. As Shin's replacing those roaches with hydras and lurkers. Still no Vipers though. Still no Vipers. It does feel like Shin's army is just getting better and better. It feels like the Defiler Mound is late, so yeah, double Defiler Mound. Working towards Dark Swarm. But it does feel like YoungYakov is one step behind here. No double Nidus. Going for double Nidus play. Changelings, they run into the army. Ooh, the spores, they punish the queens. Yeah, queens, 2 queens go down. Lurkers are in position, spines as well, and this army cannot push into lurkers. No shot. Yeah, not like this. Interesting back in. So far, Shin losing 0 lurkers. Roaches a backstab. We have roaches top left and roaches center right as well. And double Nidus into the main. Going for the Nidus. Can he finish? He can. Yeah, he does finish up the Nidus Worm. Where are the lurkers? Where are the piles as well? Yeah, so far we do try to trade. Piles are late. Oh, some of them do connect. And we have that one lurker on the high ground as well. Yeah, massive spine shots going off. Valze graze the army, and YoungYakov should clean this up, but at the same time, Jones is still falling. Yeah, Roaches, they backstab. They backstab. Jones going to be going down. Lurkers, more of them do finish up, catching out the production, diving into the main base, taking control of the main. And YoungYakov cannot move in. He cannot move in, not without a Dark Swarm. He's trying. Oh no! Does go for a Plague, lands on 1 lurker. The Plague. Only 1. Oof. And now we break out. Now we do break out here. Again, we're going to trade out so many Hydras. Cleans up all the lurkers. Still 2 lurkers left. It all gets cleaned up. And behind this Shin, he has a superior economy. He's on 74 workers, 74 drones. He can remax, he can rebuild. And Yakov, he is down to 3. Okay, he does have 3 Defilers left. 3 Defilers, 1 Queen. is the economy that's hurting. Shin can max. Shin can max out. Yakov cannot. So yeah, Broodwall doesn't have roaches. What unit serves there instead of roaches? Hydras. Hydras, they play the role of like the roach, if you will. They have that role. As there we go, Shin does move in, does hit top left. Hatchery's gonna go down. Nidoswarm into the main base. At the same time, roaches, they push in on the right hand side, just distracting. Keeping the main army busy, and the Nidoswarms, will they finish? They shouldn't be able to. It looks like barely not. But gets a base. Gets a base nonetheless. Hatchery goes down. Nidus is denied. Going for a backup Nidus. And Shin is maxed. Shin is maxed out. Unloading the Nidoswarms. Toss unload. Building up more lurkers. Moving in. See him killing his own roaches. As I mentioned before, like Roach Ravager's dead supply here. We want to get rid of it. Get rid of the roaches, get rid of the Ravagers. We need more Lankers, Pappy. True. And so far, through sheer positional play, Shin's been just overwhelming YoungYakov. I assumed that we were gonna wait until Hive Tech Vipers to like break through these siege lines, but again, the Nidoswarms have kind of surpassed that here. Just because time and time again, Yakov's been out of position, Shin hasn't needed to break a siege line. He hasn't needed Vipers. Now, for the first time this game, he's going for a head-on fight. Going for that head-on fight. We get one plague covering two lurkers. Second plague, better second plague here. Oh my god, the Hydras that get caught out. Yeah, brutal plague on the Hydras, but the lurkers are they're still gaining ground. They're still gaining ground. There's still a numbers game here. Shin is still maxed. You can see every Hydra go down to 1 HP. But it's fine. He just keeps them back. Lurkers are still gaining ground. Nidoswarm tries to go into the main. Not quite able to. Jesus. And another base falls. Double Nidus into the main base. We do see YoungYakov going for a counterattack. Back at home, there are defenses though. Because they try to move in. Oof. And they move in once again. Shin does have to calm down here that he doesn't overextend. True. Nah, he's fine. He's a critical mass of lurker. Yeah, critical mass back. He keeps moving in. Hydras is still very low, but lurker's out of position. You can see here Yakov is out of position. At the same time, he just goes for a massive counterattack. Tries to move in, running into a concave, and should lose everything here. Oh, Jesus. Yeah, dives in with his own lurkers. Breaks through the third base. We have reinforcements back at home. Lurkers have arrived. There we have the defensive lurkers. Takes down the overlord as well. Zero detection. And Shin defends. Shin, he defends. He breaks the natural, pushing further in. He still has all these lurkers across the map. No overseer. Oh. Yeah, there is no overseer, so a little bit messy, but there we go. More detection has arrived. Diving into the main. Cleaning up the army. Yakov doing whatever he can. And remember, Yakov, he couldn't lose the map here. He could not lose the map, and it was an intense back and forth. Both players got into maxed out armies, but again, Yakov was torn apart. GG gets called, and Shin will take down Yakov here in game number 1. GG. GG, well played, Shin. He will claim it. Again, Yakov, both players did build up, did max out, but Shin, he will win the series for Team CRHB. GG. GG, well played, congratulations. As I mentioned, YoungYakov could not afford to lose a game. He could not lose a game here. Yakov had to 2-0 because he was the revived player. He was the final player for his team. He had to 2-0. In the end, failed to do so. He did fight back quite well when it comes to the overall series. Remember, Yakov, he 2-0'd Solar. He 2-0'd Solar earlier in the broadcast. Like, he popped off. He just had his way with Solar. But here, in a much more passive game, winding it back, talking a little bit about the game itself, I would say that Yakov, he was late to tech. We were bringing it up at the time when we saw that Shin was just turtling up. He was turtling up back at home and getting into hive tech and refining his army. Yakov was playing a little bit scared. He was setting up counterattacks and run-bys, which weren't really doing much damage, but he was late to throw down his Queen's Nest, late to tech up into Defilers as well. We saw the Defilers, they were doing quite well for themselves towards the end, but that was after he had lost all those workers, after he had lost the economy, after he was being torn apart, right? He was already crippled, he was already down and out. It was a little bit too little too late by the time Defilers impacted those fights. They had an impact, don't get me wrong, but that was after damage had been done. That was after Yakov had already been crippled, just because of how late it was to get into those Defilers. So unfortunately, Yakov, he was just a little bit too mid to late game kind of focused and centric. He was maybe thinking that Shin was going to be more aggressive. Shin was just chilling. He was just turtling up back at home, building up lurkers, getting 3/3 upgrades, hive tech as well, double Nidus Worm, and just being very, very defensive until he could finally break out. And again, Yakov just kind of misinterpreted how Shin was going to approach that game, and he set himself behind in a way. Did set himself behind. GG well played. With that, congratulations, Shin will claim the game, and CRHB, they will win the series. GG well played. Is this a team league? Yes. Is a team league, and now we can go over all the matches themselves. Un momento, papi, un momento. We can go over the series, we can go over the matches. We can now have some greater context here. Okay. So I will provide a link in the chat for both YouTube and for Twitch. I got you. Yeah, there we go. So let us switch our scenes over and we can all have a look together. Bam. We can have a look together here. So for those who are curious, again, these matches were played 12 hours ago. 12 hours ago was when these matches were played. They were streamed on Chijik, which is a Korean platform. If we want, we could have casted this live on Chijik, but we don't get a lot of viewership there from the international fan base and viewer base, of course. So we do cover this 12 hours later via replays on Twitch, YouTube, and Chijik instead. Meanwhile, here we go. We have our matches ready for you. We have our results. So we just finished our lower bracket semifinals. We're here in the playoffs. This was day one of the playoffs. Bam! We had a best of 7 between Team CRHB and Stony Balls. CRHB, this stands for Classic, stands for Rock, herO, and Byum. Byum is Shinhee Byum, that is Shin, of course. R is Sola's nickname. Sola, sometimes his brain turns into a rock and he just apes it up. So the Koreans, they do have a nickname for Solar. That's why he is R. Here we had a series. Solar, he initially took down Milky Cat 2-0, took him down 2-0 in the first series, a very intense back and forth. We then had YoungYakov take down Solar 2-0 himself. So we had that back and forth initially, 1 point each. Then we had herO and YoungYakov knock each other out. A very impressive play there by herO. Had some really fun matches, very impressed by him to knock down YoungYakov and to bring himself down in the process. Then Shin was fielded, he took down Zadian 2-0. There's honestly a world where that's a 1-1. Like, game one was very close. Game one was very close between Shin and Zadiant. Very close, very clutch, and Shin barely survived that. Then here in the final game, Shin takes down YoungYakov 1-0. Remember, Yakov, he was revived. He got knocked down earlier, he got revived, and Yakov, he had to 2-0 to keep the series going. He lost game one, that's it. He lost game one, so that's the end of the series. Shin, he was able to claim it then and there. If Shin got taken out 2-0 here, then Classic gets fielded. Classic, he was still available for CRHB, and then they get a revive. True. It's that CRHB, they still had some more matches up their sleeve. Whereas again, Stony Balls, they were on their last legs with YoungYakov and barely was not able to clutch it out. GG well played. With that, congratulations, CRHB, they will claim the series. And tonight, we have the next match of the playoffs. Day 2 of the playoffs is tonight, here, Onside versus Team Liquid. As you can see here, it's going to be played in 8 hours. 8 hours and 25 minutes and counting. As you can see, you have the countdown timer. As a reminder, what we just mentioned, we will not be casting this live. Technically, we could cast it live, but I can guarantee you the majority of the people listening right now won't watch it. We could cast it live, but again, we don't really get a lot of viewership covering it live, just because it is on a Korean platform whenever we do that, so we just cover it via replays instead. So again, that's going to be in 8 hours. We are going to be covering this in 24 hours, or I guess 22. Like 23, sorry, 21. So in 21 hours time, we're going to be live covering this via replays, Onside versus Team Liquid. Onside versus Team Liquid. Same format, best of 7, WTL. You can see the maps, but we have yet to field our starting players. They've yet to be determined, of course. Yet to be determined. So it's going to be an intense back and forth. Game 1 is going to be on Fighting Spirit. Going to be a lot of fun. Game 1 is going to be on Sylphid, followed by Fighting Spirit, followed by Polopoid, Matchpoint, Blackrock, Washout, Fear and Faith, and Blackrock as the ace match if we get there. If we get there. So again, it's going to be a fun event. It's going to be a fun series. Coming into Onside versus Team Liquid, personally, I do favor Team Liquid. I do favor them. I mentioned this earlier that just because you're a strong player in StarCraft 2, it doesn't mean it translates necessarily into Brood War. This is why Basilisk had a hard time in the group stage, if you can see here. They had a very, very hard time. I will say that Onside has been looking very impressive. I've been very, very impressed by Onside's performance. But I still do favor Team Liquid. Like Team Liquid, they've got a strong team here with Cure as like the ace player, as like the glue that like brings everything together. I do lean towards Team Liquid, but it's going to be fun nonetheless. And I know that the Onside boys have been practicing and getting ready for some StarCraft Evolution. So we'll see if that practice bears fruit and pays off. It's going to be an intense one. Again, that'll be covered here tomorrow. Will be tomorrow. And remember, it's double elimination. The loser of the series goes up against CRHB next week. So remember, tomorrow is Onside versus Team Liquid. Next week will be the loser versus CRHB, and then we have the grand finals. Then we have the grand finals thereafter. So we still have 3 days left. 3 days left of this event. 2 weeks left of the event, in a sense, because this is tomorrow, and then next week will be the lower bracket finals, and then grand finals will be next week. So again, a lot of content, a lot of StarCraft. If you maybe are tuning in now, and if you perhaps missed the group stage, we did cover the entirety of the group stage, featuring Basilisk, featuring Onside, Team Liquid, Stanibal, CRHB, Team Red, White, and Blue. That was Euthermal's team, by the way. And if we lose, it's Crank's fault. Check out the VODs. VODs are over on YouTube, so you can check out all those VODs as we covered all the group stage, and we cover the qualifiers as well. So if you missed out on the qualifiers, if you've been missing this tournament, if you've been absent from StarCraft over the past 2 months, then all the VODs are on YouTube. They're all there. A lot of good fun. If you enjoy StarCraft Evolution, and there aren't many StarCraft Evo tournaments out there. Fun fact, we cast the most amount of StarCraft Evolution out there. I mean, most amount of StarCraft out there, period. But it's all on YouTube. It's all on YouTube, so you can check it out there if you wish. A lot of really fun matches did take place. I'm still thinking about Goblin. Like Goblin, he had a crazy performance in the qualifiers. That's still living rent-free in my mind. The Goblin versus Cyan series. That was cinema on match point. That was some of the best StarCraft Evolution I've ever seen. Was Goblin versus Cyan on match point in the qualifiers. So do recommend it. Do recommend it. But regardless, we're going to be heading off for the time being. We'll be back tomorrow for RSL. As you can see here, our schedule is a little bit weird. What? Oh, right, I forgot. We might have to change that. No, I'm not in mind. So my apology, I misspoke. You can see our schedule here. We just wrapped up with our Friday morning schedule. I did say that we're going to be covering the replays in 21 hours. That's not true. The reason for that is because tomorrow, as you can see on our schedule, is KSL. KSL would be live right now. Right now would be KSL tomorrow, and we don't want to clash with it, right? We don't want to clash with KSL. We don't want to interrupt that, of course. And I said this before. Tentatively, we might cast KSL live. You might have heard at the beginning of the broadcast, I've been a little bit sick. That's why you can see the schedule. Monday and Tuesday are empty. We typically cast every day, and we cast a lot of StarCraft multiple times a day. We missed out on Water TV Monday, and we missed out on Pegasus Cup this week. I've been unwell. Went to the doctors. I've been recovering. I've been casting less, just because my throat has been very sore and was getting swollen over the weekend. Just too much casting, but also the weather, and it's been getting sick. So I've been taking it easy. So we might not cast KSL. I'm trying to limit it to like 1 cast a day. RSL is a pretty easy cast. Like RSL is a co-stream, but the time in between KSL and RSL tomorrow is very short. It's a very, very short period of time. So tentative on that one. We might cast KSL, we might not. But because of KSL happening tomorrow, that's why our Crank Gatherers cast is actually on Sunday, so in 2 days. Not tomorrow, but in 2 days. Just because we don't want to clash with KSL. So just as a heads up, my apologies. Again, we won't be covering it tomorrow, day after that. As we don't want to butt heads with KSL. But yeah, with that, we're going to be wrapping up. Here for the time being. Thanks for watching. Thanks for tuning in. Again, we're going to be live tomorrow with at least the RSL co-stream for the playoffs. So RSL is Saturday and Sunday. And again, we might cover KSL as well. Depends on how we feel. Like, we're still recovering. If we're feeling good, then we'll do it. If not, then we won't. Just because there's very little time in between KSL and RSL. Very little like downtime in between. So it'd be like a marathon cast. And usually we're fine with that. But just because we've been a little bit unwell, we don't want to like ruin our progress of recovering, you know. We don't want to just throw it all down the gutter and then suddenly just get screwed again. So we'll see. But otherwise, thanks for watching. Thanks so much for support. We do appreciate it. And I will see you guys tomorrow for at least RSL. We'll see you on Sunday for Crank Gatherers for day 2 of the playoffs. And we might see you for KSL. Okay, that's a big maybe. If we don't cast KSL live, we'll cover it via replays another day. Do it via replays. But otherwise, thanks for watching. If you want to support us, you can do so via following us on all the socials. !socials in the chat. !socials. Our socials, they're Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, Discord, YouTube, Mastodon, Blue Sky. You can follow us on all the socials. We do stream on a daily basis. Again, this week was a little bit different. I was a little bit unwell, so we missed out on a couple of days of casting. We at least cast once a day, typically twice a day, but yeah, we're still recovering. So trying to take it a little bit easy. And thanks for watching. Thanks so much for the support. And we'll see you guys tomorrow for some more StarCraft. Whether it's KSL, whether it's RSL, we'll see you tomorrow. I'm gonna head off and not speak. I'm gonna not speak for the rest of the day and try to recover. The other big thing, of course, is Zero Space. Zero Space Early Access did come out a couple days ago. I was very tempted to stream it, not gonna lie, but because I don't want to say anything for the next 24 hours, it's an unfortunate timing that Zero Space comes out, because I won't be able to play it, or stream it, I should say specifically. I might play it off stream. We'll see. Regardless, we'll see you guys next time. Until then, ciao, bye, ciao. Until next time, hasta luego.